But I really feel Carnage is also one of those teams that can really come out on top, provided that Seal is finally not playing. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Seal, I mean, definitely, I was expecting them to, actually qualify at least, but looking at how they played in the previous days, I mean, I really feel like they deserve where they are right now. But again, talking about Zeus, after that gameplay that they showed in the previous map, I'm pretty sure they are going to be a nightmare for a lot of teams.
Now I'm gonna make things easier for you. So we did see last time Seal coming out with those two back-to-back. Do you think Zeus can pull this one off as well?
Definitely, they have
We
the
need a
courage.
pattern, right?
They have the courage. They can. I mean, taking a look at how they played in the first game and how they positioned themselves for the late game circles, I really feel like if they show that brilliant plays again in the Miramar map, I really feel like that can be happening.
I mean, that certainly can possibly happen, but in the map of Miramar, things tend to get a lot more trickier because you are feeling hot. You need to get those rotations coming in, and by all means, we are finally ready as the big bird is in the sky, and we've got the flight path trajectory all the way from prison towards Impala. Now, this has been a trend in this PMPL that we've seen a lot of certain circles happen. But any predictions as to where do you think the circle might go, Necro?
Let's talk about Circle for later on. I really want to focus on the fact that Zeus also likes to go towards LSR and even 7C. Now, last time we saw 7C changing their routes to Tora and Muda.
But the first time they kind of collided.
Yeah, they collided, but 7C definitely got a lot of disadvantage in that fight because they went down by a lot. Zeus left them absolutely handicapped. But again, now I really want to see if they are going to be colliding again. But no, Zeus this time throwing kind of a curveball. Pretty unexpected drop spot.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be doing everything considering the fact that the flight path trajectory this time so down south. So a lot of teams are trying to avoid that early vehicular manslaughter that they usually tend to go into. And this is 7C's second drop location. We are privy to that. We've seen INAS also taking a drop onto its Valademar. So all the teams might be wanting to use their plan Bs that they have stored for them. But Blood Legion, well, not the kind of a start that they would have wanted considering how promising they were looking in the league days.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, Blood Legion, I mean, of course, in the previous game, got eliminated on 15th position, which is quite questionable for me. You know, I had a lot of hopes going in for Blood Legion again, but they quite let me down. But maybe this game is where they actually rise up from the graves. But take a look at Seal 9. They are dropping at the spot where Blood Legion is dropping right there. We might see some early fights going down.
We certainly will, and I think we've seen quite some traffic around the Picado area. We've got Dead Eyes, we've got Carnage, we even have the players of 1952. So, well, Manish, he is in target practice, some birds flying in the sky, and Suyo might just be the victim, but would have been better had he had a red dot maybe, at the very least, or maybe a Winchester. That's the perfect rifle that you would want if you are in for a bird hunt.
Well, I mean, definitely, you know, he caused quite a bit of a rumpus in those shots while he was actually target practicing. But didn't really manage to connect any, though. I mean, we all know it's quite tough, you know. You will have to read your shots as well, so it's quite tough.
And he had an SKS. That is a kind of a weapon that has the worst bullet drop that you would not really want to have. But moving along, I mean, a lot of teams on the southeastern side, so we are going to look at some sticky rotations. But looking at Zeus and DRS right beside each other, one heading towards Montenuevo, others somewhere just down. And I really want to see some fights happening around the Chumacera area. We also have the players of High Voltage and Skylight Gaming in the nearby vicinity. So the northern side has been completely vacant. So we might expect a change in pace this time around because the game of Erangel sort of went down to those after those 15-minute marker. We did see some fights erupting, but this time I think things are going to be different.
Things will certainly be different, as Sharp has already been spotted by the players of Dead Eyes, and the opening that they were looking for has certainly been found as well. Now, 1952 again already have a casualty on their name, down to just a 3-man squad, as Dead Eyes are going to be putting on a lot of pressure. They are certainly not going to be holding back inside this fight, because the confidence level must be on the Cloud9, because they've already found the opening as soon as 1952 rammed in the vehicle inside the compound, and they're even just hiding behind that little small shack. They don't really have a lot of space to breathe. But talking about fights going down, DRS again opening things up on the Leos is going to be the casualty here this time. And AJ, finally the trade has been found by Godless, and he will be taken down instantly. No mercy shown from the lads of Zeus, but again, spotting down another player. I see going to be taking down Mafia Ninja as well. So many fights breaking down.
So many fights breaking down, and all pertaining to that one reason that these players are uncomfortable. They are not really well versed with the terrains of the map, not really aware about where the enemy can come in, and this was sort of a last-ditch effort made by all these teams. Just take the plunge, avoid the vehicles. We do not really want some early game casualties, but it is what it is. And looking at Mr. Boro and Yalzin, not in a good spot either. I think Mr. Boro, I believe, he's given his position out. Any single moment, the players of Zeus are going to charge in, and Gyaltsen going for a really bad call over there, giving away his position, and he was not sort of compromised over there. Now, considering the fact that Zoal is finally making the move, I mean, Mr. Boro is in for a treat, and yes, he's been taken down, finally leaving Gyaltsen to be the last player alive who is trying to take a few shots, but will meet his demise very soon.
Wow!
And there you go. DRS wiped out.
Wow! A team like DRS getting wiped out that easily? I can't believe my eyes at this point. Zeus, man, you guys are absolutely insane. The way these guys are playing, challenging the fights, and overall using their utilities as well. The precision coming in from these lands is on next level. But again, talking about Deadeyes and the fight going down between 1952 and 1952, of course, in a heap of trouble. They need to find themselves a better position because they are just pinned down in that little compound they have, and they don't even have a lot of breathing space. So they will need to, find themselves a little bit more better position, or even, try to reposition themselves. But take a look at the position that Shifu Sir has onto them.
It's going to get interesting from here onwards, because Deadeyes, they certainly are making that move, but Shifu, that was ought to happen. You mean, you are sort of surrounded, you're gonna be in Godfly over here, and here is Deadeyes pushing in, and well, you've got Shifu Sir being taken down, but Magnet, he's going in for the reload. Might take the aftermath of it, has been knocked out as Hungry Box is going after yet another player, but it's Entry who's gonna get that knock, but can he get the kill confirmed? As Entry, he is fighting with all his life and all his might, but that's just not enough, as the last player goes pushing in, and Deadeye surviving the onslaught, instead also eliminating the players of 1952.
Wow, what a play coming from the players of Deadeyes. But again, props to 1952. Did a quite phenomenal job, still managed to take out 2 players of Deadeyes, and they were doing quite good, the overall, how they actually rammed their vehicle inside the compound, already got a casualty on their name, and still managing to do quite good. Still, but they got outside the game. Deadeyes did their job pretty perfectly, so it doesn't matter. No matter how many efforts you put in, you have been eliminated onto the early stances of the game, and that certainly is going to be hurting you and your team's reputation a lot. But again, Deadeye seems like they are on a move, which is quite good. You never really want to stay at the position where you've already caused a lot of sound, because your position will be compromised quite easily. And this is how Zeus actually took down the players of DRS one by one. And this was an absolute beauty to witness.
Yeah, it indeed was. And now, I mean, the only thing with Deadeyes I'm worried about is, do they have enough loot on them? Because they landed off at that one spot and have been there. Now they started traversing around, but not a lot of heals going on these lads. But one good thing is that they did not have to suffer from any kind of casualties over there, because had they did, then that might have been really troublesome. But C9 opting for quite an interesting rotations. I would have rather preferred if they went in from the northern side, because the northern side is less occupied in comparison to the southern side, where we have the splash of colors coming in, and the moment they tend to enter, where are you going in from? You've got Stalwart Flex over there, you've got the likes of Blood Legion, and just right on top over there, you've got Venom Legends.
Well, I mean, we know that info. They don't. Yeah. They probably think that it's quite a clear route. But again, another fight breaking down. High Voltage taking a lot of shots onto the players of INES. Salu going down early this time. Gajar is barely surviving inside the building as well. Now, he needs to find himself in a better position. Of course, the backup will be there, the cavalry will be there from the players of INES, but again, they are quite far away from Gajor. If Gajor goes down early off this time, there will be no res coming in, because Gajor is trying his best to stay alive for a longer time, but the aggression from High Voltage is absolutely seamless, as Extreme and Assassin have already made their entrance onto the first floor. And now they are trying to take out Gajor though. But Gajor is just holding that third-person perspective angle. But the nades will be locked in from Assassin, and seems like he will be moving out in the last second, which is a pretty brilliant move.
But I really thought Cooney might just go after him, and he certainly has provided that crucial intel over there. But Clutch, however, managing to secure a knock onto its Oddsy, who went in there for a flank and evening out the numbers. Now, INES are not going to shine out without a fight. Now, if Clutch and Newt make it in time and help out Gajor, then things might really change over here, because Extreme and Assassin, they do not really have the perfect angle from which Cooney can provide that cover fire. Now, Cooney's position might have been compromised too, as the Newt is gonna come down anytime soon. All right.
Gajar doing a phenomenal job keeping both of those players quite busy, you know, just inside the building. And again, now Gajar's position is not yet that perfectly compromised. They do know Gajar's inside the building, but they don't know where exactly he is. So, I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job overall keeping the players of High Voltage busy. And now Cooney, of course, quite separated out from the team, will be throwing those smoke grenades to reunite with the teammates back again. But will INES let that happen, though? I mean, it seems like those smokes are going to be providing him that essential cover to back off. But this is where things might go down. And no, that nade was quite a bit off. But again, Newtsy trying to reunite with his teammate, and seems like he has closed out a lot of distance. And Gajar certainly might be feeling quite comfortable. But again, another fight breaking down between the players of Zeus and Scarlet Gaming. Chari has already been the casualty inside the fight, but how are Scarlet Gaming going to be retaliating back?
Not the player that you would want to have knocked out. Chari going off so early, this is going to spell trouble for the players of Scarlet Gaming, who are not really having a good time this Super Weekend so far. Not really playing well in the first game, and Zol taking quite some damage, but instantly ducks, and will have enough time to heal himself up, as we are back to the fight that we have in hand, where HV have sort of, gotten together, with Clutch still playing in from the backlines. I mean, that's a perfect setup going in, and Clutch still peppering down those bullets. Nothing really happening out of it, as they need to make something happen, and a few grenades, maybe a few Molotovs might just be that exact thing that Team INES or High Voltage are looking out for.
I mean, at this point in time, we're seeing a lot of brawls happening all across the maps, because we're seeing a fight breaking down between Styleflex, Zeus. Zeus is going up against Scarlet Gaming, and High Voltage going up against INES. 3 fights happening at the same time. And the fight between High Voltage and INES is certainly elongating way too much, because Gajor is wasting so much time with High Voltage. And overall, I really want to give props to this man. The way he actually positioned himself just inside that small building and kept Extreme and Assassin busy for the entire time until the cavalry was arriving. Gajar, he's an absolute, I don't even know, he's a speed demon.
He certainly is, but look at Icy. I mean, Zeus, they are murderous. They want nothing else apart from that, and it was not cooked, so it's not going to deal that much of a damage, or not deal any kind of damage at all. But this is where Zol is going to cook a nade of himself. I beg my pardon, that's symbology over there, because that was a Molotov sort of getting dodged away, or was it a stun grenade? As Zeus, they are going to enter any single time. And Godless finally, throwing that molly out. Demon, he is burning right now as he's getting incinerated. He needs to escape, but does not get the chance, as Zol will finally knock him down.
Zeus turning the tables into their favor. Scarlet Gaming again in a heap of trouble. They need to find themselves a better position, as Zeus is continuously harassing the players of Scarlet Gaming. Joker being the last man alive. Found 2 knocks already for himself, but Icy is going to be getting real up close and personal on Joker. Of course, has those essential information that he needs, but which person will be coming out on top? And that's going to be Icy, of course, eliminating the entire squad of Scarlet Gaming and Zeus. Wow, these guys are on an absolute rampage.
Well, indeed they are. I mean, you talk about Joker. The moment he just proned out, that's the moment he knew that he was dead. And high voltage finally, sort of catching a breath because INES have decided to back off, or have they? But one thing I really want to point out to the viewers, Seal 9, they are making some long rotations out from the circle and all the way from the eastern side. But looking at high voltage, finally Extreme trying to exchange a couple of shots, in turn being injured really bad.
Well, I mean, as you pointed out about C-Line again, they are making those longer rotations, but they are also taking a lot of damage. Myunki did go down to the zone, to the play zone, but again, the res wasn't there. So they do look quite a bit good, at least for now. But again, there might be another fight panning out between the players of Flex and Carnage. Now, they are pretty close to each other. It's only a matter of seconds. Anyone is going to be spawning anyone down, and fight will probably be happening. But Carnage do have upper advantage. They have themselves the high ground secured, while Flex don't really seem like in a comfortable spot. But again, Zeus, these guys are not going to be stopping anytime soon. The domination from these lads is not going to be stopping. As I did mention, Zeus is going to be a nightmare for a lot of teams inside. And they're eliminating top-tier teams just so easily without any efforts. A team like Scarlet Gaming, team like DRS is getting eliminated. And
Look
again,
at Icy.
yeah, just look at this man. Wow. Out in the open though, the confidence on this man. Wow.
Look at the push coming in. I mean, Zeus, they're not just harassing people, they're bullying them. And, teams are not liking it. But it is what it is. Zeus need to establish that domination, that fear into the hearts of their enemies, as PN Crew is finally getting into a scuffle against the players of 7C right now, having that high ground advantage to themselves. And Fear, he's in a no man's land. He does not really have the right amount of cover that he needs. One good grenade might just throw him off and might get knocked out. But PN Crew rather taking another decision, the safer approach over here, just backing off, playing it safe.
Now again, I want to point one thing out. Take a look at Seal9 Spooky there. He has been dropped down by the play zone, and of course, he will be completely eliminated out the game as well. But I really feel like they have secured themselves quite a good position inside the circle as well, and that is a pretty brilliant rotation coming in from the players of Zealand. But of course, they have probably used a lot of their meds in the way they actually made it there, and I feel like a lot of utilities might be used as well in the process.
Indeed, but INES, they are making the move. I believe they're sort of in the dark about Extreme's position, who has not given out himself over here as Gayor and Clutch still keeping an eye onto its where Extreme is. Now, they certainly have an idea as to someone is definitely going to be there in that compound, as Extreme has started cooking up a grenade, and it might just go down, pretty much giving away his position. And this is where we might expect the two players, surviving players of rather INES, pushing in onto Extreme. Gets that one knock. Can he get the second? No is going to be the answer, as Clutch again clutching it out for INES. Now, they might not really have the kind of players that they need right now, but still, those kills are definitely going to give them that boost. But if we talk about the zone, I really feel Dead Eyes does have a very dominating position now. If they hold on, I think this chicken dinner might just be theirs.
Well, I mean, again, now take this factor into consideration. Dead Eyes and PN Crew are standing right next to each other as well. The fight might be panning out between them anytime soon. All they need to do is just spot one man down. But now Zeus Icy, finally the overconfidence kind of getting punished as well. Now Zeus are just down to those last two members surviving, and but they have 10 kills on their name, and that is absolutely insane. I mean, I was exactly talking about this. As to the way these guys are playing, the amount of confidence these guys are showing, it's certainly paying off. But now in these late circles, you certainly do need each and every single of your teammates to survive, and if your teammates are not going to be alive for those late game circles, then certainly that's going to be a massive casualty. But again, Zeus do have their two members alive, so anything can happen. We have seen these men just pull off some insane clutches, and this might be just a easy thing to do.
Absolutely, as we sort of head on towards a fight where 7C have taken that upper advantage against the players of A1, not really having a good time this entire week so far. But Mimo being taken down already, and for gunshots are being around everywhere. And we can see Sinister finally cooking up that grenade, and Fear with one of his own, and both of them sort of dodging it out. And Sinister, now he's gonna step out from his cover. Maybe that was the right opportunistic moment which he might have missed out on. But another Molotov coming out, and this completely gives away his position with Spear, who any moment can take that left flank and just go charging in. But sort of deciding to keep things to himself. Of course, he's the last soul to survive. He's got nothing else to do. Needs to secure those knocks, but instead will get demolished by the players of 7C.
Man, oh man, A1 Esports going down early off on 12th position this time. But take a look at the fight panning out between the players of Venom Legends and Zeus as well. Now, Steel Shot has batted Godless down, but Godless again is trying to play it out as safe as he can. Of course, does know down to just a two-man squad, and you need to be as cautious as you can, certainly inside those late game circles. But again, TDK are taking a lot of zone damage, and Sargo went down to the zone. Now, that is quite questionable.
I mean, of course, it is. Now, Zeus, this is a team that has managed to secure 10 kills, but at the cost of 2 players, right? Now, they've got 2 players left. Now, they've got to fight that entire final circle with just the 2 numbers that they have for themselves. And Train to Kill getting eliminated at the 11th spot with just that 1 kill. I mean, they did have a fairly decent start, so they can live with themselves considering how they are doing in the overall standings. But this is where we see that shift going out. And Shifu, he's right there. All he needs to do is hold on to the position and let the players of Dead Eyes just come in close as Rafat gets spotted down by the players of Stalwart Flex, and it was the numbers disadvantage that he had, 2 players against 1, so being taken down in the process as Nightwing. We can see him making that push on towards the players of Blood Legion as Gyro needs to hold the fortress as high and mighty as possible as he decides to back off. We've got Void trying to close in, and Venom Legends, this is a perfect setup from them.
The seamless aggression from these lads doesn't really seem like it's going to be stopping anytime soon. Again, now it's just a stare-down competition. And now it does seem like Blood Legion are kind of on a passive foot inside this fight. But Gyro, again, trying to get real up close and personal. White is holding down the angle. Now, none of these guys are actually aggressing. Initially, what they wanted to do was just try to get inside a little bit of cover, find a little bit of cover inside the zone. And the compound that Venom Legends decided to strike in, Blood Legions were already staying inside it. So now again, Venom Legends do have found themselves a little bit of, edge, or a little bit of edge of the compound for themselves, which would quite be good, at least for now, to buy themselves a little bit of shelter from all the bullets and all the chaos that is happening. But again, now, as I did mention, there's just a stare-down competition. I don't really feel like these teams will be forcing a fight against each other unless it's being forced by the zone.
Well, quite a stare down is what we are witnessing over here, and any single moment, like you rightfully pointed, the zone might shift, or maybe it might just favor these lads. So anything is really possible, and Carnage, they're right beside 7C, so we might also get to witness that fight. But P and Crew finally making it to the top 8, so let's see from where do they go from on here. Right now, Sandeshi is watching all the fight happen right in front of his screens as Snipe does manage to get a knock onto its rig. Elsewhere, we've got Gyro trying to commit in for that push as he goes in, gets taken down by Void. Now Nightwing, he's barely surviving on a sliver of HP, needs to heal up pretty quick as Dominic goes charging in, takes down Nightwing in the process as Void still clinging on, holding against these 2 players. We've just got Leo towards the end, and he finally clutches it out for Blood Legion, and with all their players alive, all he needs to do is get that quick res up, and with 20 seconds on the clock, it just might be those 2 players only that he can get the revive on.
That was absolutely marvelous, but again, another team getting eliminated. That's going to be 7C as well, following the footsteps of Venom Legends. But another fight panning out between the players of Dead Eyes and PN Crew. The fight might be panning out anytime soon if even one of the players is going to get spotted. But just take a look at how many eliminations is happening as soon as the circle shifted, took a massive curveball onto these players, and the circle shifted, took a hard shift. Yeah. Absolutely took a hard shift, all in the open, and as soon as these guys will be trying to make the rotation in, I feel like a lot of kills will be flying in. And again, PN Crew do have a real good position for themselves, have a lot of high ground, and can contest down the players of C-Line easily without any trouble. If they are going to be successfully holding off this high ground, then again, Dead Eyes is going to be a nightmare for them. But Deadeyes doesn't really seem like they will be challenging the fight, but a lot of rumpus being caused from the players of PN Crew.
Indeed, and here we have all these players trying to close in, and Jiggle already been taken out of the equation. Vehicles blasting off by the players of Carnage. They are instilling heavy damage as Mumke has finally been spot off, and C-Line deciding to fly away from their nest, and now they are going to engage in those fights. And considering the fact that they have not really engaged in any kind of battle, it's going to be really tricky, as we can see Deadeye Shifu Sir making the move with this Vector, not a weapon of choice that you would want against an M249. He was ought to be punished, as Budo Sir somehow trying to take down the players of Carnage, but that's not going to be the case here, as Praveen is that one man needed to clutch out the entire squad.
The lawnmower strikes again, another fight panning out. Ayush, an absolute laser beam. This is what I like to call him all the time, because I've seen this man hit some crazy sprays. And again, showing a demonstration of that live in front of our eyes is certainly going to be quite a fascinating thing to witness. But again, take this fact into consideration. C-Line is still alive. Blood Legion doing a phenomenal job overall, keeping their entire squad alive. But Dominic, of course, it's going to be quite tough to get the res onto him and then make the rotation inside the circle. But seems like Blood Legion are quite on the edge of the zone. So for now, there won't be any trouble unless the next zone also favors them. But again, now C-Line, they are trying their best not to get compromised by any of them, not trying to give any sound away. And of course, their position has been compromised. PN Crew do know that they are right below them, but certainly they do have their reg favoring them.
Indeed they do, and Blood Legion, they have somehow managed to revive two of the players like we had anticipated. They're making their way in. It's going to be a tough task, but Sandesh, he is the messenger of death, as he is having that high ground advantage for himself, and considering Legend and Killer are providing that perfect cover fire, I think that's the kind of a support he needs from Ayush to commit for that push. But considering the fact that Carnage is right onto it, the eastern side is going to be a tough call. They have to take the left route, and that is exactly what they're doing. Going in for the push. Can they find the first knock? That's a big question, as they go in, hammering down all those bullets over there. Not really connecting, as Roy is the man who is going to get that knock onto it. Sandesh, as Killer comes chiming in. Now they need to push in tandem, but that's not the case over here, as Killer gets a knock for himself, and Ayush and Killer pushing finally onto it. Roy, how is this lad going to hold for himself? And now, no is the answer, as C-Line have finally been eliminated, but on the 4th position with 2 kills in hand.
Exactly. So now we are seeing a lot of fights actually breaking down, as Blood Legion again taking a lot of damage from that nade, as Leo is going to be the casualty inside the game, and Jaro will try to get the res onto him, but Legend has been spotted from Jiggle, and an absolute incredible spray from Jiggle, taking down Legend in the fight, and seems like Jiggle will be pushing in forward to confirm that kill. But he should also know the fact that he's exposing his body way too much, spotting Dominic out as well, out in open. He doesn't really have any cover for himself, so of course he will be taken down as well. And Killer trying to steal the kill away of Jiggle. But Jiggle doesn't really seem like he is going to be letting that happen, as Jiggle is getting real up close and personal against the players of PN Crew. Blind firing inside the smoke. Killer Whites, he has spotted down Jiggle, taking a lot of damage from the players of Blood Legion, and that's going to be Gyro putting down a lot of lead. And finally, Killer YT finishing him out.
Indeed, it has come down to these two teams. It's Nepal versus Bangladesh is what we are witnessing, as Blood Legion are going after PN2. Now, having 2 of their players alive, it's a 2v3 situation. We have to see where the 8 circle goes. Whom does it favor? And the one who has the better of it has even better odds at winning this one out. But Leo, he still does have that one beautiful grenade, as the exchange is on, as Gyro finds a beautiful knock onto its page and to open things up.
Wow, that knock is an absolute insane. Now again, Ayush is in a massive bit of trouble. Out in the open, his position has been compromised. Gyro trying to spot him down, but doesn't really seem like it's going to be that easy. Killer YT, that nade is going to be dealing a lot of damage, barely surviving, but the heal is going to be there. Just take a look at the barrage of nades coming in from the players of Blood Legion. The res will be there by Ayush, but maybe if he's unlucky enough, he might get compromised instantly by the players of Blood Legion, but they are again barraging in the nades, and the Molotov quite not going to make it quite close though. But again, you will have to use a lot much more power into that.
Too close.
Circle is favoring Blood Legion.
Yes, indeed it is. And but still they do not have the numbers. Now, if Killer plays a perfect game over here, then he might just be able to provide that cover fire that we would hope from him, and Legend giving away his life. Now, equalizing and evening down the numbers. Now, this is where Blood Legion have the upper edge in the fight.
Exactly. Now again, PN Crew in serious trouble as they are getting caught off guard while they're trying to make the rotation. Ayushin open ground, and that's going to be it as Blood Legion is going to be taking down the final man of Carnage. And wow.
Finally, after so many matches, the boys from Bangladesh have popped off. Relentless aggression every single time they took a fight, and they did not really have the better of the circle. They had to fight for it, give away lives. Dominic had to literally die for his players to get in, and they managed to get that beautiful chicken.
Exactly. Dominic actually bought a lot of time when he did get compromised by the players of PN Crew. But again, his the play these guys made, again, I'm just so speechless, I'm not gonna lie.
He is speechless. I need to catch a breather. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do is head for a short little break, because coming right after is the beautiful analyst that's going to break things down for you.
Map read नगर्नेहरूलाई के जस्तो कार्नेजले हेर है गुगलको त्यो चाहिँ त्यसले चाहिँ तपाईँको प्लान भातिर जानै पर्दैन किनकि त्यसले तिनीहरूलाई म्याप अलरेडी रिड गर्नेहरूले होइन तिनीहरूलाई थाहा हुन्छ कि यहाँसम्म रिड छ जस्तै हेर अहिले प्लानलाई के भयो लास्टमा यताबाट जोन परे नपरे अब खबर छ
Hello and welcome to PUBG Mobile Pro League South Asia Season 3. We just got done in our Super Weekend Awesomeness game number 2, and that was a complete dominating affair from a team that everybody had been predicting and hoping that hopefully now is the time they will capitalize in their favor and pick up their pace, and that's exactly what they did. Along with that, it is of course a big thanks to Oppo F19 Pro. Wook up your fun. Thanks to Oppo for sponsoring the PMPL events. I'm your host Budo. Let's move on to our analysts and find out what they think about this game, dudes.
I think this was quite an interesting one, especially from the players of XB Blood Legion and PN Crew, having a wonderful day. But, well, in front of us we have the MVP, that is going to be Snipe YT from Carnage Esports.
Exactly, 4 kills coming up, 838 damage, no assist though, but 218 healing done. I mean, talk about this one, Snipe and Jiggle I would just like to include, right? Because the final fights that lad was taking up for himself, those were some incredible fights. But talk about his contribution, as you can see, assist was 16.1%. Overall, that's what the story has been, but the kills is where he is really dominant, almost 25%, like 1/4 of the kills for the team is his contribution.
Yeah, even last week Carnage was the man from his team who actually stood out. And in terms of the lobby as well, last week during the Super Weekend he had a wonderful time getting the most kills out of everyone. So an amazing performance from the lad just continues. But let's talk about those teams.
We have to. We better, because again, I mean, that is where this entire saga moves on down towards. Yes, Carnage was phenomenal, but there were other players as well. There were other teams as well in the lobby. That's bringing us down to the top players list, and in that, I am sure we are going to see some known names that have just not left this spot. But this time around, it's a different affair.
Well, Jiggle is there. I mean, we were talking about it, right? And Leo from XB Blood Legion, 771 damage for his own self. Hungry Box, 450 damage, 5 kills. I mean, the kill number was really strong with this one.
See, exactly as I said, XB Blood Legion, just the fact that they are playing is going to keep them up in the race, and Team F4 is the one that the players will be eyeing out for the spot, the 16th position that's going to be there up for grabs.
It's a really good thing, I would just love to say. You see XB Blood Legion's jersey, they have Miramar on themselves. I mean, they would love to rule Miramar somehow, right?
And that worked in their favor.
It did work in their favor.
Did work in their favor with the amount of kills, with the perfectly controlled aggression coming in. They certainly got the chicken dinner. But let's find out what the other teams were able to do when it comes to this game's match ranking.
Exactly, talking about this one, you can see 50 placement points, I mean, for XP Blood Legion. That is where we can talk about it, right? $1,000 going for them. Carnage Esports out here onto the second. PN Crew is here. Zeus, 1. This is what we talk about every day, right? 1 placement point, 10 kill points, 11 for them.
Like classic Zeus thing that Zeus Esports does. It is their team in a nutshell. Just get those kills. Placement points don't matter, but I mean it is the thing that keeps them in the race. It is the reason that they get good number of average points in every single match.
Yeah, and they wiped the first ever squad when the fights just started, right? When they were just focusing on themselves. DRS, I guess
that was DRS.
And they did really good for themselves. DE as well, but talk about this one. DRS 952 Skylights Gaming. I mean, the teams were on a hunt, and if they find someone, they would love to take him down.
Exactly. Train to Kill on the other side, kind of a shaky start. Not a shaky start. Well, they had a good game in the first one, but now the second one wasn't good for them. But talking about the opposite of this, Scene9 and XB Blood Legion, they had a wonderful time in this match, and it was quite interesting to see how these teams actually played things around. But so far, in the two games that we have seen, PN Crew, they have been consistent.
They have been very, very consistent every single time. PN Crew is able to find themselves in a perfect placement when it comes to those rotations, when it comes to those circles and those zones as well. With that, let's move on to the zone analysis and find out when it comes to this game that just took place on Miramar. What were the turnover wins?
I mean, this is where you would not want to expect the circle will go down to the backsides of Picaro for sure, like the open areas out in that one. But the hard chips were really strong, and Sevens, you could see them away from the fights right now. They were just not in these fights as of now. And when they knew that they had to rotate inside the circle, they had to move fast. They had to move quick. That's what they had to do. Seal9, meanwhile, that was a different story. As they came from the backsides of Picaro, they had to just rotate to the areas to control the whole of Picaro. And once they knew they were in the zone, they could just stay there for a while. They could just breathe through the areas just to understand where the fights are happening, where the fights are not happening. And that's where they got the hold of everything. But XP Blood Legion, look at this road. I mean, this was the most deciding road for the entire game, as the circle was slowly and steadily just moving up from one area to the other. The players that were onto the other side had to cross this road, and the open area that they had to face for themselves. I mean, that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, that was a challenge. And as we move to the end of the day, to the end of the game, I mean, it was quite interesting, the situation that PN Crew were in. The one thing that I did not like about that ending fight is no one had utilities left.
Sadly, that is sad.
The Molly was the last thing we saw.
Molly was the last thing that was left, because, like, I mean, why not? It is Miramar. Absolutely no one is going to be constricted to Molly. Like, you do tend to save them towards the end of the game. No grenades were left, no smokes were left. Everything was used up just to cross that one street.
It was one of those situations, it was one of those circles. But with that, let's move on to the performance itself, which will again compromise this entire saga that took place, where indeed we saw quite some early knocks.
Yeah, quite some early knocks. And talk about those 1952. Well, they are going to try and bounce back from this. They still have a few games left for today or tomorrow or the day after. The opportunity is still there. It's just the fact that they are here. They're going to try and pick some points. But as we talk about this team, there's absolutely nothing that stops them. And as Ocean said, they see someone, they go.
One of those
Like about
the entire game, as the circle was slowly and steadily just moving up from one area to the other. The players that were onto the other side had to cross this road, and the open area that they had to face for themselves. I mean, that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, that was a challenge. And as we move to the end of the day, to the end of the game, I mean, it was quite interesting, the situation that nothing that stops them. And as Ocean said, that stands in their way. Ocean, you said before the day started, the teams that are coming in for the first one, they're going to try and take things slow. INES were like, we want to take those fights. We want to get those kill points. That is exactly what this team is doing. That is just lovely to see. But XP Blood Legion have realized now or never. That's the situation they were in.
I wish, had INES been there in the previous week as well, we could have seen like them with the momentum altogether. Because this week they are just obliterating the competition for themselves.
And I mean, now almost heading towards the end of the match. This was sort of a tricky situation. I felt like PN Crew, had they sort of been a little bit closer to the circle, I mean, things could have gone either way. Now we're going to see one sort of a moment from Jiggle where he moves to flank the players of PN Crew, gets spotted out by XP Blood Legion and gets taken out. But this is where things were secured. Yeah, XP Blood Legion, they were outnumbered, but it was just the fact that they were closer to the zone. So as the blue zone moves in, it hits them a few seconds later. And well, those few seconds are the things that won them the game, because PN Crew, they had to step out of cover, they had to step in, and well, they got shot at.
They certainly did, mate. And again, I mean, when you move on down the conversation towards the kind of damage that was dished out throughout the entirety of this game, well, interesting turnover wins, but this time around it is Carnage with a perfect 2600 scorecard with 11 kills to this team. But we look on towards the right-hand side. We are looking at so many teams that were not able to bring in even a single kill, sadly.
I mean, especially for the last three teams, I mean, the opportunity to fight back wasn't even theirs. Especially for Skylight Gaming and DRS, as Ocean said, his exact words, the players were hunted down.
Yes, they certainly were, and it was Zeus that was out for blood against them. But on the other side, again, we have had a conversation about A1 Esports for the longest time now. Where do you think, Ocean, is A1's domination or aggression going against them, mate?
I mean, it's like some week one team does good, the other week they kind of just tend to fall down. That's because of one thing, and that is the saturation point that they think the players' learning capability. It's not like the team is not learning.
True.
They are learning with every good game and bad game, but the implementation that you actually have to just use it in the game in an actual way. Because every team, my opponent will be having the gun, I'll be having the gun. It just comes down to the matter of who shoots better at that moment. And
exactly, mate. And when it comes to shooting better, or rather taking a lead off that charge, it is certainly going to be a fair where we move on with the journey, when we move on in the story. And that story, of course, will be confirmed with the overall rankings that will tell us, will Zeus Esports take over this time around?
Almost. Well, next one might be a wrangle, right? So they can take it because that's their strong suit. We'll see about that. But they got the 100 placement point marker for themselves. They are the third team in this one, like obviously having the 100 point mark. As you can see, 1-1-1 for Seal Esports, 1-1-2 for Carnage in the placement department, and 100 placement points for Zeus.
Yeah, but look at those 91 kills right there. That is the thing that defines this
my
team.
question to you. Will they get like 200 points for themselves and like 100 kills in 100 kills in the next game, or do you think that'll be a placement point game? What do you think? Like, will they reach triple digit for the kills?
I think they can. I mean, this team in the last 2 games they have gotten double digits, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the third game they're going to try and go for that, and it is going to be quite interesting to see. But another thing I want to point out is not many changes in the first half of the standings. 1 to 10, it was just a swap between the bottom 2 teams.
I want to see 1952 perform as well. I mean, they are here. You're given an opportunity right now. You gotta make the best out of it, right? And obviously the team is trying. It's not like that they are not trying. They are trying to convert everything for themselves. It's not. It hasn't happened in the 2 games. Let's hope in the upcoming game they just start up their bank right now and they just move forward. But talk about Seal9. Their previous game was good. INES 21 for themselves. Every team right now is looking forward to F4's placement points.
37-point difference between INES and F4. They're gonna try and make that happen today itself, because if they actually manage to do that, the journey ahead looks really nice. Because they will have, if they let's suppose today they get in the top 16, then on the next tomorrow and day after, next 10 games they can just focus on climbing within the top 16, and that is what you want.
Hey mate, talking about climbing, there's another thing that we do need to talk about, where indeed the viewers sitting back at home are going to be a part of it. It is of course the time to bring in the perfect support that we've got set up for you guys, where we grow all across when it comes to these rewards that are set up for you. Because again, when it comes to this PMPL finals is what we are working towards, but throughout that journey there are awards being given away to you lads sitting back at home. That could be through in-game rewards, as well as you see on to the right of your screens, actual gifts that you could hold in your hands, mates. But
exactly,
move the conversation and have a look at, of course, how can you claim these. When it comes to the in-game awards, all you need to do is chime in along with the Esports Center. As you do so throughout the action that is of course going to be showcased through PMPL South Asia, you will be earning points. As you get those points, you can then multiply them by guessing weekly winners. As you do that, you can then again tenfold those points by participating in the lucky draw, and eventually you're working towards getting that permanent outfit of PMPL for you to of course showcase into the entirety of your lobby. Or again, I mean, you can very well be working towards those points and get those gifts and share them with your friends. But that's it when it comes to those virtual gifts. Move that conversation towards a gift that actually matters, a gift that will of course help you out in real life, and that's going to be of course, well, first prize we are looking at AirPods Pro set up for you guys. That will all be yours, alongside which you can also chime in and get to be a part of the gift cards that will of course be in your local currency. Along that, yes, we do have those virtual gifts as well, because virtual gifts, I mean, the more the merrier, there's no two ways about it. But now the main thing, how do you participate in it? Hashtag PMPLSA with your UID code, with your unique in-game code, followed by the region that you are supporting at the end. This is going to happen throughout the PMPL South Asia, throughout the Super Weekends. But as the team that you're supporting, as the team that you love, they get in the top 9. That is where you increase your chances. So showcase that love, start supporting that team, and do not forget to of course share. Do not forget to share your love throughout all the regions that are chiming in now. With that is it. But that's not it, right? Because again, those are the gifts, those are the rewards. Now we are here for so much more than that. We are here to showcase those games, we are here to enjoy those games, and it is time to talk about what is upcoming now, where indeed we've got 2 games done. Move the conversation onwards towards the 3rd game, and we are back on Irango.
Oh boy, I mean, it's going to be quite an interesting one, because now all the teams we're gonna keep talking about this like broken records, right? The new teams, the new lads. They have showcased, I mean, one team in particular, INES. This, I would say, is their opportunity to do really well. If they can somehow manage to finish in the top 3, then just one more game is going to be the game separating them from F4, from the top 16. But apart from that, another team that I want to focus on is a name that Blotter took a while ago, A1 Esports.
Yes.
The
True, mate.
difference is sort of getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger between them and the leaders. So they're going to try and shut that down.
They better.
For me, it's like 100 kill marker for Zeus.
That is going to happen.
That will happen.
Yeah.
That will happen, but hey, we were talking about it if they'll reach in the next game. That did not happen in the previous game, right? So maybe in the upcoming game, because I would not want this to happen like 2 games later or something. If they
Imagine they miss it by 1 kill.
That is a possibility. That is a possibility. But you know for a fact when it comes to, again,
Why did
take
they
it
do this?
all the way back to day 1, right?
Yeah.
That is how the Mongolian teams have approached all of this. Every single game, every single time. With that, predictions?
No, not for
None.
today. I think today we are just going to enjoy the matches.
Alright, well... Alright,
Zeus.
well, I guess it is going to be Zeus coming in from, of course, Ocean, as he has been wanting to get that team to work towards those 200 marker. But alongside that, it is busy, very, very busy game. Let's just jump right into it on this map of Wrangle. And we've got our Wrangle boys back. It is going to be none other than XP and Blade to take you through this game.
Thank you for that again, Blotter. And once more, we're going to be jumping into the Wrangle again, as he called it. As he called us. The
We're getting a
Wrangle boys.
T-shirt made. I'm getting
Might
this
as
done.
well.
Wrangle boys.
Might as well. I also heard, like, we heard the desk as well. They seem to be kind of chickening out, not giving any predictions. We heard Ocean to Zeus. I mean, that's an easy pick,
He's
right?
obviously going to pick the hardest hitting team.
Of course,
always,
of
isn't he?
course
He's a
he is.
smart man.
I'm gonna put you into the spotlight though, XP. Who are you gonna be going with?
I think I'll tell you something. Before I pick my team, somebody finally gave a memo to Blood Legion that, hey guys, when you go out hunting, we want you to bathe in the blood of your enemy and not your own. And this time I think they went and did exactly that. I know I get a bit too graphic, but the Blood Legion is finally washing themselves off with the blood of others. And you know what? They had a good last game. If they continue to play smart and tactical as we saw them in Miramar, they just might take a Wrangle.
They might indeed. I'm actually gonna put my money on Seal 9. They looked great in the league stage of week 2 just a couple of days back, and so far they've been looking pretty good here as well in day 1 of the Super Weekend. Yet to get a chicken dinner though, but definitely starting to rack up those points. Again, reminding everyone, this is a team who did not play the first Super Weekend, so right now this particular one, the second Super Weekend, is their opportunity to rack up as many points as possible and try and ensure they make it to the finals in a couple of weeks' time. Looking at the playing path, XP is going to be starting just north of Quarry, ending all the way between Kameshki and Lipovka.
And pretty much we are going to be splitting the map in half, so to speak. And Venom Legends this time around are opting for Primorsk and Ferry Pair as their favorite drop spot. Of course, we see this is a team which drops according to the playing path. They aren't willing to drive an extra mile or two just to get to their favorite drop spot. That is something good. I like that little versatility that they can mix things up. Of course, Zeus Esports are a team that does the same. This time they were like, wait a second, someone went to Georgia Paul last time around. It was INES, and this time let's just go and give them a run for their money.
I don't see INES anywhere though. Did they drop down? Oh yeah,
They're
they
right
did.
there,
They
under-
did.
under
They
Seal
did
9.
right on the Seal 9 right there below the logo. So I'm kind of blind XP.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the showdown that's going to take place in Georgia Paul.
Taking a very quick gander at everyone else, we of course have 1952 as usual dropping towards the ferry pier. We have Strawwood Flex going to be taking a long path all the way down to the military base. A1 Esports going to be dropping towards the cliff area. So yeah, everyone heading in the usual drop spot, so to speak, and looking at that circle. We've seen the circle so many times, XP, I've lost count.
So many times now. Quickly, we did kind of brush up on INES. It's going to be a bit tricky for them this time because they're not just going to face off one Mongolian team. It could be 2 because Seal 9 love heading to the North City as well. And talking about facing off, the winners from the last game, the Blood Legion, going up against the Dead Eyes guys.
Dead Eyes guys, they've had a pretty decent start so far in the Super Weekend, and very close by there is also another team who could join into the fray. I do believe that is High Voltage. You can see on the right hand side at the edge of the radar, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go, early exchange of nades. Shifu.
That's a good one.
That's a very good one. Almost finds Gyro, and Shifu immediately relocates and tries to ensure there's no one pushing him from behind.
Something funny this time around, though. Have a look at how Deadeye's guys, Hungrybox and Shifu are all by the lonesome, because their teammates are going to be in pretty much the major city of Rozhok. Mind you, this is just east of Rozhok, for all of you who are not too savvy with your map, which is kind of funny when I say it, because it is Erangel, and everybody's played Erangel, and everybody's pretty much traversed every single nook and cranny, because sometimes you go chasing people, sometimes you need to run away.
And right now, Gyro is debating what he's going to do. He's got no first aid kits, no bandages, nothing. He just has that energy drink. It's going to boost his health up a little bit, but it's going to take a sweet time for it to get to a more healthier state. So now he's going to buy this time, wait for Shifu or Hungrybox to make a play. But as he did point out, the other two members of Deadeye's guys are not in the immediate vicinity, so a bit of a standoff for the time being.
Also, I like the fact that Blood Legion kind of sent Rayon expecting that, we might have a little bit of a flank coming in. So he's on that little hill between Rozhok and their current position. But quickly, let's just have a look at the map. Now, again, INES, they are going to be in between a rock and a hard place soon enough because, like I said, both the Mongolian teams in this Super Weekend are right in their vicinity. Now, Skylight Gaming, of course, they love Gatka. And the thing is, they need to pick one of those central compounds with buildings that have multiple stories if they want to have a chance to survive till the end, because, well, they haven't had the best start to the day as we come to expect from them, having, they are mid-table right now in the overall rankings, 110 points for them, and they are in the 10th position. So, again, I want to see a bit more aggression coming in from the boys from SGX.
A team who I would want to step up a little bit more is, there were 4 teams last week who didn't make it to the first Super Weekend. It was INES, Future Station, Seal 9, and 1952. Of these 4 teams, 3 of them have made it to the second Super Weekend. The aforementioned first 3, that's Seal 9, 1952, and INES. Now, Seal 9, they've shown they're here to play. They're looking really solid right now. 1952, still a little iffy at the moment. However, INES, like the fact that they've qualified, great performance from them all around. Still not seeing the bite. I'm still not really seeing much of a bite from the team, and I feel like going up against Sealand and Zeus, that's a sort of fight I would want them to take. It's gonna start to get their blood flowing. It's gonna get force them to take these fights, and that could be the catalyst that INEs are looking for, as we do have Leo sneaking in through the grass. They know it's only a couple of players, and Deadeye's guys, because of how passive they've been so far, it's going to allow an opportunity for an extra player for Blood Legion to slowly congregate onto their position.
Kind of seems like this is the watering hole, and one of those leopards or panthers was just trying to, crawl their way, prance their way towards the enemy. Little did they know that the enemy might have an idea. They are anticipating this, of course, Hungrybox and Shifu, all by the lonesome. They should be waiting in for the remainder of Deadeye's guys to come in, swoop in, so to speak, and help them out. But again, the patience that is being exhibited by these boys is phenomenal, and at the same time quite nerve-wracking, because anything can go along. There you have it. Wadu Sir is finally going to come in our picture. But again, that's the one position I was talking about as far as Rayon goes. So Rayon could be that guy who is not only just scouting out, he is essentially holding down a flank. I mean, he might be a bit separated from his teammates, but his position is going to be pivotal. Now, example, suppose Blood Legion decide to move in on Hungrybox and Chief. I mean, the patience is just amazing right now. I love it. Everyone's quiet, sitting in a corner.
And that's also because the position these two teams are in, it's almost smack in the center of Rozhok, and you can see the play zone, the circle, is cutting across their position. So they're going to be biding their time, waiting for someone to make a move, but eventually they will have to go for a play, because we can see DRS arriving as well. Now, DRS might go for a more roundabout path, or they might stick on south. It looks like they're going to be heading up north off the river, meaning they could be in a potential trajectory against PN Crew. Head on down. First couple of bullets will be let loose. The Uzi and Hungrybox not gonna take the fight. It's gonna be falling on back. They're waiting for Blood Legion to push in.
Elsewhere on the map, it kind of seems like Zeus Esports are chasing down INES, and there you have it, a few shots fired in the background. But the question is, where are these shots coming in from? It is INES going to be opening up on Zeus, as Leo has been taken down.
Alright, suddenly Zeus, the team who we thought would be a problem, and they have been a problem for everyone, and INES, we said this XP, they need to take these fights against the top tier teams. They need to show what they're really made of, and right now 2 knocks and a light clutch pushing on in. He's not going to push it too deep. That's going to ensure You can see the smoke. Is he going to shoot the smoke, or is he aware of Leo's position behind the tree? It doesn't matter. It's going to be lobbing in a nade, and that nade could be good. Leo is bleeding on out already. Nade's going to be a little too deep, but he will be finished off by Gazor with the sniper rifle. And INES, well, that's a team whose name was on our lips, and they're going to be drawing first blood. As finally the push comes in from Blood Legion, but it is going to be Hungry Box who is going to get the kill and the knock and the kill. Ryan, he's going to be taken on down. The push going to be coming on in, and Hungry Box unfortunately won't be able to hold them off. He will be finished off, so the trade does take place as the remaining member of Dead Eyes guys are going to be pushing on in. Shifu barely alive, and he will be knocked on down. Leo trying his best to get the knock onto the player here. It's going to be Suyog, but Suyog's doing a fantastic job just running around, dodging and weaving the bullets. One bullet is all he needs to get the guy above, but he is so very low as well. He's going to get the knock, and now it's a 1v1. Leo's managed to heal himself. He's going to drop on down, but he catches him in midair, and Suyog plucks him out from the sky, and Blood Legion will fall. Deadeye's guys, the patience works out for them, as meanwhile Icy is going to try and get his vengeance against the members of INES.
That was just perfect. I told you, I kind of mentioned about Rayon's position, from Blood Legion. Now, the moment that flank went down, it allowed the remainder of Deadeye's guys to push in and basically back their teammates up, and that was just played to perfection. Of course, Suyog, the man of the moment, with his Vector low HP, getting the job done. Now, I like the fact that INES kind of realized that, you know, they are one member down, so they are going to anticipate that. Oh! Now they are definitely going in for the kill.
I love how Zeus is like, wait, you can take one of us down, you come at the king, you best not miss, baby. And they're going to go pushing on in here. Gazor down on his knees is going to be crawling his way. And look at Godless pushing in. He's not giving them any respite whatsoever. He can actually catch them off guard while Clutch is going in for the res. Godless, he's got the nade perfectly primed, and he finishes off the job. Gazor will fall, and Clutch won't stay alive for much longer here. He is crawling around, hoping desperately for some respite to arrive. But Zeus, they are showing them why they are such a dangerous force to contend against.
And they're not done yet. They've kind of figured out where the last member is. Icy almost getting knocked off his feet as he dismounts from
He's
that
still taking the fight! He doesn't heal himself, he takes the fight!
Now,
what a lunatic!
Now, mind you, this is when Godless and Zeol are going to be coming in on his position as well. Nude is going to be in a world of trouble. There you have it. And that's all she wrote. Now, I've got a little bit of a thing I want to point out over here, because we are going to have a little lull. Nude and his teammate should have moved in a lot quicker. That was a little bit of a mistake I kind of have as far as INES go. But now as the action is going to continue, Carnage are out on the prowl.
Well, one of them is down. Manish has been knocked on down because all four of them are in separate vehicles. That means there was no one nearby to go in for the rest. Snipe will also be spotted out. True Love riddling his body with bullets, and that's an early death for the side of Carnage. You still have a player to be picked up. Manish is still out in the open, and Mimo is going to make life miserable. So Jiggle as well, I think he attempted to head on back and help his teammate out, but he will escape barely on a sliver of HP, and Carnage are effectively down to just the two members. And I got a feel for INS. We said how, yeah, they're taking the fight to Zeus, and Zeus just come back and backhand them so hard that they get eliminated.
It was a little unfortunate, in fact, for INES. A couple of seconds of hesitancy, I think, is what kind of led to their demise. But I like the fact that High Voltage right now, they do have the high ground, but the thing is they are going to be in the middle of all the commotion, and the circle still has some time before we implode in on ourselves. But have a look at what's happening down south. Stalwart Flex are going to be coming in, of course, as always. They come in a little bit late. Following them, we have the boys from T2K. But the thing is, I saw another team over there, 1952. If I'm not wrong, they've gone further south. They might just come up with a boat from the west coast.
I'm keeping an eye on the map. It looks like they're actually going to be taking the more safer route, so to speak. You can see them right at the bottom over there, right below T2K and Stalwart Flex. But like you pointed out, since they're taking this sweet time, two things could happen here, right? Either they surprise everyone and they get a couple of free wipes, or they're not able to enter the play zone and they get gate kept. It could be either thing.
It kind of seems like they know that they have a couple of teams in front of them. They are going to just follow them, trail them from right now. This is what I'm talking about. Look at blah, blah, blah. If they did dismount from their vehicles, they've got to be quick on their feet, though, because they're going to be shooting up ahead. Little do they know, from behind, we have some people coming in. And now it's just going to be Carmageddon over here, because everyone's in a car. But the thing is, you've got to dismount to shoot.
And Stalwart Flex have made their way inside, and they have the control of that beach.
They do have control of the beach. They can kind of like, you know, gatekeep them in. However, what I would want from Stalwart Flex is to get that better position and just make sure they are fortified a little further up, as PN Legend is kind of giving his position away. However, the fact that he is high up on that mountain is not going to be a problem.
Yeah, PN Crew, a team who have looked pretty solid so far. And they are looking to continue this trend. Again, bearing in mind, like, Deadeye's guys and PN Crew struggled in the first Super Weekend, so for them to get off to a pretty solid start here, they're going to be pretty happy with it. Zeus, though, they're down a man early on, but as we know about Zeus, it doesn't matter if it's 1 man, a 2 man, a 3 man, or a 4 man squad. it literally doesn't matter. They're still going to be taking the fights. They're still going to be hungry for more, and that circle is tasty. Mwah! Chef's kiss right there. It's a fourth circle, and it's more water than land. I love it.
I'm just glad we kind of shifted up north, because we've been seeing those southern Primos circles for way too long, and now Stalwart Flex are going to find themselves in a good position as the second airdrop is going to be coming down. It's a complete wheel to cross up with the suppressor, but Venom Legends coming under fire, courtesy of Legend.
And PN Crew, Legend just realizes there's too many people to shoot at. If they all dismount and shoot back at him, he's going to be done for. So it's just getting a little crazy. Zeus have joined in as well. GR is in the vehicles. PN Legend, PN Crew's also in the vehicles. This is chaos right now. Everyone making a run, making a rush for a better position for the latest circle. IC is so very lucky to escape unscathed, but in the meantime, a couple of knocks will take place. Venom Legend will lose the player, IC will fall to Assassin, DRS getting riddled by bullets from the distance by Void as well, and Zeus, Cotton is still driving around like a lunatic. Zio should be finished off here by PN Crew's Ayush. As PN Crew, they have control of that little bit of an elevation, and they're making it count.
Kind of looks like somebody's having a little bit of a house party, but the invites went awry and everybody's been called to the same location, and they've just been driving around. They're like, there ain't no parking space over here. I'm just going to overshoot it now. BRS, they have made it to a couple of buildings over here as Spooky takes down PN Legend, finally falling from his high horse, so to speak. A1 Esports picking a fight over here, just at the edge of the zone towards the south against T2K. Got to keep one thing in mind. Ooh, Nightwing is in a world of trouble.
Doesn't know.
Have a look at God. Again, you said it. These guys do not care whether it's an entire squad. They go for the kill as A1 Esports is pushing in on T2K.
And he finishes off Nightwing. With that, Venom Legends will be done for. Will be out for the count as A1 pushing up against T2K as I pointed out. Now T2K, Jane with Sarka, they're holding the line. They're holding the front lines. Blah, blah, blah is going to deploy smoke early on, which is interesting. Molotov's raining on in and with Sarka. He is just going to try pre-nading the entrance, and A1 not really risking it by pushing up ahead blindly. They're taking a sweet time, clearing out the usual angles using utility, but while all of this is happening, Sinister's coming in from the side. He's providing cover, he's providing eyes as to where other members of T2K are.
However, he's got to be careful because all this commotion is going to catch the eye of Stalwart Flex as Dante seems like he's going to make his move inside the circle.
And Sinister from the perfect angle, he's going to find one. He's provided information where Utsarga is as well, and blah blah blah, left alone now, basically in a 1v4.
In a 1v4, he's got to make sure he deploys enough grenades just to cast him off guard. I think Dante is going to take the full brunt of it. Oh, almost getting the knock over there, but he does get jaxed. Dante finally getting taken down by that secondary grenade play.
That is huge from blah blah blah. Can he get a finish though is the question. He's still getting shot at. He can pretty much pull this off alone. They've all taken a bit of damage. He's going to finish off the job looking for more, but in the end, he will eventually fall. A1 Esports, he made them bleed though. He made them bleed. Valiant effort coming in from him, but in the end, T2K will fall. They will be the third team to be eliminated. As Seal 9 now going up against PN Crew, who have been looking fantastic so far.
Fantastic indeed. Of course, this fight is going to take at the opposite spectrum of the circle. We are all the way up north over here, just a little shy of the new circle, which is still 50% in the water, just the way we like it. But now Seal 9 are making the right decision to move back just a little bit, because again, you do want to get to the next zone before you kind of get pinched out. And now they do have a few options. They have their vehicles parked. They can still take that little route along the beach, as you can see Spooky moving in. Now, I like the fact that that's what I was talking about. He knows there's a team right over here, but he wanted to scout out ahead. And the moment he's scoped in, somebody just shot him.
Timing can be brutal in this game. And right now, Seal 9, as they do get out of PN Crew, bear in mind, neither of these two teams are in the play zone. They're right next to it. They can move on in, but it's open terrain. As we have a bit of a replay of blah, blah, blah. Pretty much almost pulling off the 1v4. The nade timing as well. But unfortunately, he wasn't even able to finish off the player there. A1 doing a great job keeping everyone alive.
Keeping everyone alive, and now they are going to be heading towards... That is not good. You do not want to get caught out in that position. They are going to park their buggies to give a little bit of cover. Now, of course, you do want to deploy smokes as well. There you have it. The smokes are going to be deployed. And, well, Blay, is he going to get the revive?
is what I'm scared. That vehicle, if it explodes, it could be disastrous. But 9boy with a great shot with some great suppressing fire. He's going to find Uzum. There's some stalwart flex who are also on the beach. 7C are going to join the party as well, but they still need to cross their roads. Smokes, like you mentioned, like you pointed out, being deployed as Johnny's been going to be dropped as well from stalwart flex. So fantastic job from A1. They're going to continue the trajectory.
Lucky he got knocked in that little dip though.
Oh, he did. He really was fortunate there. Look at the pushing on up. They want to finish off the job, and it's going to be going for a drive-by. A1 Esports, they're going for this, and they're going to mow down almost every single member of Stalwart Flex. And Stalwart Flex, the hunters, have become the hunted. And I do believe they have only one player alive. Godless has been spotted out in the open.
Correct me if I'm wrong, did Godless just get the last man from Stalwart Flex? I kind of missed that out, but it looks like they have been decimated over here, Blade.
They have been. A1, what a play from them, pushing on in, as now we're down to the final 11 teams, 33 alive. It's going to be beach warfare. It's looking like the storming of Normandy all over again.
I kind of like the fact that 1952 is still in this game, all a bit. We still have 11 teams alive, which means I can go nerd on you right now. But before I do that, Chari was just coming up on the enemy's position, but he gets taken down before he even knew what happened.
A1 Esports are looking for more, all 4 alive, 7 kills. The knock on the Chari, the smoke deployed, Sinister aware of where his prey will be, and he's looking to finish him off, looking to finish off the job. Skylight Gaming, 2 players still standing, Chari on the ground, the third one. The nade could find its mark. It is a little shy of his position though. Demon and Joker, they have that UAZ for some cover, and Joker's going for a very brave maneuver considering how late in the game it is, and immediately he has to get out of the driver's seat, go prone and heal himself.
Of course, that was extreme shooting up from his little high point. Chari could be in trouble. I do see a grenade coming in. We should see it on our screens right about now. Joker is going to scum to the blue zone as well. Demon's got his work cut out. The revive is not coming in right now, as A1's Dante is just unloading on them at break, and True Love could be in a 1-2 position to basically rack up another kill for themselves. But it looks like Demon needs to worry about someone far away. Then we're talking about Dante's positioning, and the blue zone is going to come in and do the rest. There you have it. 2 teams again getting eliminated in quick succession. 9 still in the game.
Oh, huge nade, humongous nade coming out from the side of Seal 9. Monkey making life a little rough here. 7C are not quite out of the pickle yet. They're still marinating in the jar, and it's not looking good. High voltage right outside the play zone. And the one team who's looking pretty comfortable at the moment is Venom Legends. They are inside the play zone. They haven't really gone up against any teams. And Godless, mind you, is still alive, chilling on the beach.
He's lucky that the circle has actually been kind to him. And talking about Venom Legends, they have 1 of 2 compounds in this circle. Of course, one has been occupied by them, and the other is occupied by DRS. And Godless, he's lucky because he's got this little bit of a ridge right at the beach, but Havoc over here trying to rain some havoc on 7Cs with those AKM shots. Love the sound, but it's the play zone that is going to bring down Turula.
Play zone's going to get brutal now, XP. It's all moving on in. No one's really moved on in with that. 7C is going to be taken down. High voltage, making them ride the lightning. As Cooney is going to be pushing up here. Sharp is down on his knees as well. Look at Godless, man. He's announcing his presence. Like, okay, you want to come at me? You best not miss. And he's not going to miss a shot. Oh, almost gets taken down, though. His helmet's gone. He's got to use his first aid kit. He's got a couple of first aid kits, a few energy drinks and painkillers to work with. And he's got a little bit of a depression, of some cover to work with. What he's got to do is ensure no one pushes up close. And he's harassing them. He's harassing A1. He's the only player who actually has an angle onto the side of A1 Esports.
And you know, that actually kind of gives 1952 a couple of moments to just sneak inside the circle, which is exactly what they have done. But their woes are not over yet, as High Voltage and Venom Legends seem to be going up against one another. Now, he did know that his game was over, and you know, valiant effort by Zeus Esports, getting eliminated in this 8th position, if I'm not wrong. But again, they had 5 kills played.
They had 5 kills again. High fracking team that they are, but right now we're going to be switching perspective to that of Venom Legends, who are going up against High Voltage. High Voltage inside of the compound. Venom Legends having to go in for the push. They are a player down, have a player knocked, so it's basically right now a 2v3. High Voltage doing a great job taking down Void. Now it's all on one member of Venom Legends. It's going to be Steel Shot, and it's going to go up against 3 members here. They've got to be careful. They're also going to be shot from multiple players. Steel Shot down to half HP. He's going to finish off the job initials of 1 player. 2 more to find for the side of High Voltage, and Steel Shot trying to third person to spot the player out, but there's a crate providing him a little bit of cover, and he knows where he is. When Steel Shot's going to go for the smart play, he is going to go for a run. He's going to run away, head for the hills, and play for the placement points, which in my opinion is a smart play.
It's a smart play indeed. But now the circle, the question is, are are we going to go out towards the beach? Oh, DRS Gaming are going to be a happy bunch. The circle has pretty much shifted right towards them, which means now all they have to do is hold down the fort. Now, Steel Shot does patch himself up. Rafat knows that he is a lost cause, so Steel Shot needs to basically be very, very quiet as A1's Dante is going to see something similar that he saw last time with Godless. Looks like Seal9 Spooky has switched places with Zeus's Godless. I guess it's a Mongolian thing, right?
And if you take a look at the potential final play zone, right, there is still a little bit of the play zone in the water. Spooky can sneak his way along the beach, find some safety to work with since Alba is lonesome. The problem here for everyone is going to be DRS's position. They're well entrenched inside of the zone. As High Voltage are going to be pushing on in for the kill. They want to finish him off. They want to take down Steel Shot so they can contend with the rest of the teams left alive. Extreme's going to make a play and is going to pre-fire on the angle. The headshot. Steel Shot didn't have a chance in hell.
Mind you, he was getting shot from Deadeye's guys who do have a little bit of a height advantage, and there you have it now. Extreme are going to come in their crosses. No way you are getting that crate as he does get taken down.
Extreme getting knocked down. Now the res can definitely come on in. And Deadeye's guys, they know where the players are. Oh, he's been finished off. 1952 stealing the frag away. 1952 been so quiet so far. Finally, they're showing their hand as A1 is getting shot from behind. And they are in a rough spot out in the open.
Well, these took their name and Sharp goes down and Tofik is going to be wiped out as well. One of their better outings so far. 6th position ending. Not too shabby, but of course we expect a lot more from them. Now, Deadeye's guys, they have to move inside the circle. This is where things are going to get a bit tricky because they are not only getting shot by DRS, but Havoc could be a little spoiled sport as well. And as you mentioned, Spooky has made it to that little bit of water still inside the circle.
And it's so unfortunate for A1. I really believe they went for the right play, trying to take the beach control early on, but the circle moves away from them. And right now, they're going to run out of smokes at some point or the other, and the vehicles have been completely wrecked here. Gyals is going to find Dante, and Jax finds DRS's Boro, and A1, they are getting pinned down.
My eyes are on the minimap right now, and let me just tell you one thing. Deadeye's guys did a wonderful thing. They realized that the compound is going to be occupied. They are going down south, away from the zone to finish off. There you have it. High Voltage have been finished off. Beautiful, beautiful thinking on Deadeye's guys' part, which means they are the only other team who have 3 members that can potentially take on a 4-man DRS.
Let's not forget Seal9. They still have that one player, that's Spooky, in a little bit. And Nineboy, what can he do? He's outside of the circle. He can't move in. He's done for A1 Esports. They get massacred out in the open on the beaches. High Voltage don't getting knocked down earlier on 8 points. A1 with 9 kills. A fantastic showing, all things considered. And DRS now, as you pointed out, they have 4 alive. But Deadeye's guys with 3 and Spooky in the water has been spotted out. A1 knows where he is, and he has his eyes peeled. He wants that kill.
It is all going to come down to DRS and
Look at the
Deadeye's
circle!
guys, and the circle is still on DRS. Now these boys are going to be elated, however they can't get complacent. They do have 8 kills, which means they've already potentially wiped out 2 entire squads, but one tiny mistake could be their downfall. Now Spooky, I do not see Spooky getting out of it unless he actually really scares his opposition and does a little bit of a peekaboo, but that is not going to be enough, and I guess he's going to have to contend with 3rd position. Now Deadeye's guys have been spotted out, as AJ is going to put Spooky finally.
Need to be careful though. Say they're out in the open of the road. Nice trade coming in from Wadu, but he will get knocked down. Seal9 finally getting knocked out. He's down to the final 5 left alive in the circle, and 2 teams for the chicken dinner. Suyok, last man alive. DRS, they have 3 members still standing. Mr. Boro is on his knees, but it's going to be okay. Nades being thrown into his direction, but it's going to fall a little short of his position. But the bullets are grazing his top, and Uyok's deploying every bit of utility he has, but he is pinned down. And Mafia Ninja will read him his last rites. A fantastic outing from DRS. The circle did favor them, but they played that one to perfection.
The real soldiers getting the job done. Winner, winner, chicken dinner for them in Game 3 on this amazing Super Weekend 2. Now, let me tell you one thing. A lot of people in the comment sections are going to be like, oh, the zone favored them. I get it. There is a tiny bit of luck that is involved as far as the zone's rotation goes. However, they held the ground down and they basically got rid of onslaught after onslaught. They just kept wiping the slate clean. All right, we're done with this team. Bring it on. So again, a lovely, lovely play over there.
And of course, Deadeye's guys having a good end as well, even though they were not able to get a chicken dinner, getting a number of kills. 2nd position, not too shabby.
They could have gone out in 3rd or 4th with that little rotation, which was really the cherry on the cake. However, while we all just appreciate the little gameplay that we've seen so far, remember, these still have 2 more games in tune for you guys. So don't go anywhere. We're going to quick little break. I just completely messed up a few words, but we'll be back after this.
Hello and welcome to Pubg Mobile Pro League South Asia Season 3. We just got done with the third game of our second Super Weekend and it is off to an incredible start where this time around there are a different few teams that have joined us along and that has showcased a different story on board when it comes to the entire saga of top 16 teams being a part of the Super Weekend. With that, I'm your host Budo. Let's move on to our analysts and find out what do they think about this game that just took place.
Well, it was an amazing one.
Exactly. I mean, talk about the MVP as well, Yalzin, right? Getting kills for himself and the team. 6 kills coming out, 12, 25 damage, 4 assists as well. That's how you know that, playing like a team player.
Exactly, playing like a team player, and that shows the domination that DRS had in this game as well. Plus, as I said, this was an amazing game because, like, the Western Circle.
Yep.
No one anticipated that circle.
Nobody did, but it was a really good pun intended sort of a circle for so many of these teams because they were not ready, they were not prepped whatsoever at all, but the way it was just acclimatized by so many of these teams is where you see the beauty.
Yeah, exactly, just like you said, right? The circle was throwing its own curveballs against the competition. That's one thing. 194 healing done. I mean, if you saw the fights, right? Every time a player was going down, there was someone to give the adequate cover from their side. That's what DRS was doing. Talk about his contribution in this one. You can see 23.2% is where he was onto the assist side as well, getting up and getting the kills 20%. Talk about the damage as well, 23.2 for the damage part. So yeah, he has been doing really good.
Yeah, the only time we see the lad lacking a little bit behind is the survival time and the damage taken stats, and well, it doesn't matter if you're contributing that heavily to the kills, to the assists.
You are the real
it's
soldier.
okay, yeah.
You certainly are the real soldier from the team, no question about it, because after all, it is a 4-man squad that is going to compromise of certain people having to take that first initial push, and that again is going to be supported by your lads, and eventually that is what a team play is.
Exactly. Talk about the top players, right? Extreme here getting 3 kills for his own self, 696 damage. And Waru Sir, 655 with 2 kills. And talk about 6-9. So A1 Esports also had a really good game in this one. But the only thing that, I was talking about is when we were discussing this one as well, they were stuck down in the open area.
Right.
It was Godless from one side, just trying to get him down. And then obviously from the other side, there were the other teams. How many smokes can you use? Eventually you'll run out of them. And if one player goes down, the vehicle was blasted as well. That just means one thing, that is you have to just move in the open. And that just creates chaos in the minds of the players as well when they think about the fights.
Exactly, mate. Because again, I mean, you talk about A1, we wanted to see this team outperform the competition. Well, they certainly did pick up the pace when it comes to the aggression, the domination in terms of the damage. But eventually, again, as Ocean just mentioned, of course, they were in the open, caught off guard.
Plus, the situation was not even laid out for them. I mean, the aggression is the kill that we're going to see this team move out with a decent number of points. But they made the best out of the worst case scenario, so to say.
That is true, mate. That is so very true, because that implies that they certainly walked away with a lot of points, and with that, there are so many other teams also that did so perfectly for themselves. And along with that, the match ranking showcases, of course, the chicken dinner winner teams with 27 points.
Wow, 27 points. I mean, this is just me, or do you guys also feel a team that actually is getting chicken dinner today is contributing good for the kills for themselves?
Yeah.
We saw 15 kill game now we saw 12 kill games as well. So there have been teams so if you are getting those kill points, that means eventually you're getting ahead of the competition. A1 Esports meanwhile 17 points for them as well.
Exactly, an amazing performance from A1 Esports. As we said, the aggression is the thing that helps them, and this is what the team also relies on. But talk about this, Seal9 1952 finally stepping things up. Seal9 with those 15 points to the name, and 1952 getting those 7 points in this matchup. But apart from them, let's also talk about the fact DRS again, they got another 1,000 coming in the bank.
I mean, they love it now, I would say. Obviously, it kind of just, it's not like, everyone would love that money for themselves, but it kind of makes you work even harder with each and every game moving up forward, because if you lose on a lot.
Also, Zeus missed out with 1 point, equalizing the difference between them and Seal Esports.
I hate you.
Well, for now, because again, the day's not come to an end. But with that, what did take place was the amazing rotations that worked out in favor of so many of these teams. So let's just have a look at the zone analysis for now.
You want to look at the zone? I mean, I remember me and Fixers were sitting out there. Fixers was like, hey, will the zone go to the shorelines? And if eventually the shore just goes there. So yeah, that was kudos to Fixers just for predicting that one out. And with that, the major thing was you could see the teams that were moving from the shore side. When Legends was there, Stalwart was moving from that area. T2K would have moved from that area as well. So you could see a lot of teams just gathering at the shore sides. Godless, I mean, he was surviving all alone. So he was lucky enough to get the next circle on himself.
Yeah, and it was quite an interesting scenario as well because as we did see, some of the teams did end up overthinking the situation a little
Yeah.
bit more than they should have. Where we saw the players, specifically the players on the beach line, take a few shots on the team that were outside, and the players on the outside, well, they just stayed because they thought there were more players in that location, and
Yeah.
well, they did not have any space to move. But talking about using those spaces quite perfectly, DRS did that really, really well.
I mean, DRS got the circle for themselves. That's a
Exactly.
really brilliant
Yeah.
thing, holding the area. And then there are some teams, if you hold an area, you gotta take the fights as well, because you know that's the
Yeah.
responsibility you gotta take for themselves. But DE versus DRS in the final moments, those are some
Yeah,
amazing
I
fights.
want to talk about that because I love the way Mafia Ninja approached that
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
He threw like 5-6 nades towards that last surviving player from the side of DE, absolutely not even letting him get up.
Nope, no breather allowed whatsoever at all when it comes to PMPL South Asia. With that, let's move on with the performance that took place throughout this third game of our second Super Weekend.
Exactly. Talk about the early aggressions, right? Early aggressive fights. I mean, this is where it all just started up, moving on forward. But hey, slowly and steadily, DE and XP Blood Legion, the fight actually just became a bloodbath. But onto this one, this is where you would see DE Suyok just clutching it out for himself and for the team. Because at the end, it is the survival of the fittest.
Well, INES having an off day in this matchup, getting caught out by the players of Zeus Esports, and then as we transition, A1 Esports did have a good approach to this game. Once again, I say the aggression works out for this team. T2K this time tried the level best. This was an amazing moment from T2K's blah blah blah. Threw a nade close to the door
Yeah.
as he expected. He knew he was outnumbered. The players of A1 Esports, they're gonna get greedy. They're gonna come in towards him. Threw the nade, took players out, but then messed up the next moment when he charged out.
I mean, you know one thing, and that is, you know, no one would want to come through the windows if you want to rush. Everyone would be chasing
Yeah.
the doors because the window, the jump animation might as well just take you down if someone else is holding up a gun onto your side. So that's just one thing that just, you know, becomes a major difference onto the thinking capabilities. But this is where A1 Esports just went down, right? You had those vehicles for yourself, you had the smokes, but how long are they gonna last?
Also, these houses are the chicken dinner houses for this game. Those houses, those like two buildings, gave them so much cover. It gave so much cover to the players of DRS that absolutely, and they controlled it quite nicely as well. Like players giving each other cover fire no matter which direction you look in. But wonderful fights being taken from a situation that was supposed to be theirs.
Absolutely, mate. But in that, of course, they were able to rack up those points in terms of, well, getting the down.
Yeah. I mean,
As of now, but you know, I would love one thing, and that is if some team is getting like 500 plus damage for themselves, at least try and get one kill. Like in these moments, the only mistake that there is the shot calling between the players.
That's true, mate, because it always does boil down towards the communication within the team itself and letting know of the information as to what's going on one side or the other, and that again could very well be crucial and detrimental for your positioning and your role when it comes to the overall standings, because after all those points, that 1 point per kill makes a humongous difference. And with that, talk about that 1 point, we are exactly square between Seal Esports and Zeus Esports with 197 points.
197.
Yeah.
I mean, after this, obviously, Zeus can go even further if they want to. Well, we'll see when they get that triple-digit mark of the kills for themselves. But
next
talk
game.
I hope so. Talk about even Esports high voltage, 5th and 6th position for themselves. T2K just went a bit down, but not a lot. And this is where it all comes down, right? Top 10 teams, as you could see, triple-digit markers for themselves.
So there are a lot of ties going on. 197, 197, 188, 189
All
between third and fourth, and then we had two teams below them as well. So that's an interesting situation between the top 10 teams of the leaderboard. But now moving on to the second page of the standings, Venom Legends make the push take on the players of R3D Esports, who are not playing right now. Venom Legends sitting on the 14th position, and now the next team that in their crosshairs is XB Blood Legion. But on the other side, Seal9 catch up to the players of INES, and these two teams together, is one of them going to move past F4?
If not by today's end.
2 games left.
Yeah, I know. Maybe tomorrow. We'll
Hopefully.
have to see.
Hopefully tomorrow, or if not, what would be better is, of course, if they are able to make that happen today itself. But with that, what we've got right now set up is an interview set up with Shifu sir from Deadeyes, guys. So let's bring in along Mr. Shifu. Where are you, mate?
Oh, he's right next to us.
Oh, yes,
What's
he
up?
is.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey,
Appreciate
and
it, buddy.
congratulations to the entirety of your team. You guys have been phenomenal. Of course, it's been an uphill battle from the starting week up into now, week number 2. It is a close affair. You guys are sitting on the 12th position right now. But talk about the journey from week 1 to week 2. Have there been changes? Have there been aggressional changes? What have you been working
Ooh.
towards from week 1 in towards week 2?
So, in week one, we are trying out new rotations, and we failed. But of course, right now, boys are getting back on track, and we are playing a bit more aggressive. Yeah, and we're getting ready. I mean, basically, we are getting ready for the finals, not
Ah,
league. So
that's
yeah.
That makes
that's
perfect sense
yeah,
because after all, that is what the final thing is. You need to move on towards the
yeah.
top 16. Simple as that. Top 9, even better. But along with that, Johnny, you had a conversation to
Uh,
make.
but I wanted to ask the same question, but on a bigger scale, considering the fact that this time you are coming in with roster changes. Were there major changes made to the strategy that we saw from the last rendition of Deadeye's guys to this team that we see right now in front of us?
Yeah, there has been changes like in rotations, and of course strategically also there was changes in plans, but
Hmm.
right now, yeah, I mean, looking at the teams, I think we have to play our old style. I think so. Yeah, we're trying to go back where we were before and trying to do more good.
Well,
Exactly, mate. That's all that fans need as well. Again, Ocean, what is your connection?
so my question is going to be a little different one, right? When we talk about PMPL South Asia, we always used to think about Nepal's teams, Bangladesh teams, and Pakistan teams. But right now, it's Mongolian teams as well. So, how much in your studies, like how much have you seen the difference of teams like Zeus, Seal 9 right now, and this week Seal as well? So, what do you think those teams do different as they kind of are ahead of the competition right now? So, what do you feel the difference while playing against them versus the other South Asian teams?
Of course, like Jews have they have PMGC experience, so the meta there is like different from here,
Hmm.
and of course they're really good. I think Mongolian teams, yeah, they're pretty strong. Talking about right now, they're pretty strong right now. But I don't know what happens in the finals or regional finals because most of the teams are not. I mean, like they play just. Uh, they try to qualify for the finals and they play like different
Yeah,
during the finals.
yeah.
So I can't really say about that. Maybe they're hiding their take strategical. I mean,
Exactly,
yeah,
mate.
Yeah.
They've got
strategy and all that. Yeah.
the entire lobby, I would say, has tricks already set up across the entire board. But again, with that, thank you so very much for taking out the time between the games. Of course, thank you so very much for the conversation. Best of luck for the upcoming games. And of course, certainly do hope and keep our fingers crossed that you move on into the top 9.
All the best.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that of course was an interesting turn of events right
Yeah.
here because
Yeah.
again we've been talking about Deadeye's guys from the longest time, from the start itself, of course,
Yeah.
and every single time the conversation would be, well, when are they going to come online?
You know, I agree. I agree with what he said completely. We have been talking about this as well. Like teams are definitely going to try and hide something up their
Yep.
sleeves to, as a wild card, as something of a totally out of the box strategy that they are going to utilize in the finals.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
mate. With that 3 games done, it is time to move on along with the 4th game, and that, of course, implies let's have a look at the schedule and find out where are we going to be moving on down. It is finally the sweaty, moist, rainy map of Sandhawk.
Well, it's going to be quite interesting, and I think the major reason Sanhok is moist is not because of the sweat, but because of the blood of your opponents that rains down on you, just because of how aggressive this map is.
Yeah.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Always.
I mean, we'll have to see, which team just comes up on top in this particular map, because it's more about how much good of a fight you can take while hiding yourself
Yeah.
onto the ground sometimes, and that sometimes can be a good way of taking those 1v2s, 1v3s, like being a snake maybe, or
Right.
taking up those early fights in paradise. So things might as well just change.
Exactly, mate. But again, with that conversation, let's move on to the map chance and find out what do the stats tell us when it comes to
Oh.
the teams. Well, CD Sports certainly looking good, but Deadeye's guys on the 1st place right now.
Exactly, having good performance on this map, and well, we're gonna hope that these teams actually perform. But interesting thing is the 3 teams behind
Exactly.
Deadeye's guys, they're not even
They're
playing
not
today.
even there.
No, but that's the kind of domination they've showcased
Yeah.
just in week 1. That's where the stats are based off of from.
Exactly, Lakshay, I'm gonna take over from your spot 1 second this time because
Right.
I know your next question that you're gonna put towards
Yeah.
us.
It is
our
the prediction.
I want to ask a different question to the person standing in the middle, Ocean. The fortune teller, as people like to call him. Circle. Predict the circle right now before the match
I
starts.
thought you were gonna ask him, but okay. Well, if you're asking me, I would want Query to Bootcamp Paradise, that sort of a circle.
All right.
And again, if it's on a
I'm-
Paradise result, it's going to be just perfect play coming in for so many of these teams. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. But along with that, let's move on into the game. Enough banter from our side. Let's move on to the duo who we've come to know as the dynamic ones. Well, they're getting there. They're getting themselves acclimated on the desk. It is none other than, of course, Fixers joined in with Necro.
Well, thank you so much, Lakshya. Apparently, we did think that Ocean's crystal ball was broken, but it seems like it has been fixed as we head along towards the map of Sanhok. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first map of Sanhok that we are witnessing in this entire week. So, things are gonna get dirty. They're gonna get wet. They're gonna get moist and bloody. Well, Necro, what do you feel? Which team is gonna come out on top?
Well, to be honest, I'm going to be rooting for Zeus this time.
Again,
If you ask me why, I mean, the aggression these guys are showing.
hey, I know that, but Zeus is one of those teams that tends to get really aggressive right from the very start, but at the same time they take a lot of casualties. Now you have to be very smart in Sanhok. Now Zeus and Sanhok have had a different tale altogether because every single time they go into a battle, they get third-partied.
Well, I mean, third party is of course going to be factors. Considering the fact that it's going to be Sandhawk, then we all do know a lot of third parties happen, certainly when the circle is shrinking down to its smallest.
Yeah.
But again, I really want to see is that the bottom lines in the entire leaderboard, are they going to be stepping up? For example, Seal9 showed a phenomenal, in the week 2, phenomenal performance. Are they going to be doing it or continuing the pace inside the Super Weekend?
Well, here we go. The Big Bird online going all the way from Markham and to all the way to its Canberra. Not that it matters a lot because you can tend to drop off at your desired drop location.
Yeah.
Now, I really want to see how High Voltage play this one out because it's been quite a while since we had that western camp out the circle because that's where they really flourish. Otherwise, they have to take that southern route down. But again, Seal9, like you mentioned, is one of those consistent teams that we are seeing across those last 2 games. So maybe Seal9 can also get this one in the bag.
Well, I mean, exactly. And yeah, even one thing I want to point out, Avon, again, do like to go towards the Paradise Resort area all the time, no matter what's happening. They will be rooting for that area. But Blood Legion seems like they have found themselves a new house, which is going to be Docks.
Oh.
Now, in the past, we have seen... Okay, you literally said it's been a long time. You have not seen that circle. And PUBG gods are going to be like, okay.
Hey, Negro, I'm not even kidding. You were also there. I did predict the previous circle. I just said I wanted it to go towards the western shorelines. It did. It sort of took me and Ocean back to those PMCO 2019 global days when we used to have those western circles. So today also having that western circle towards camp Alpha over here, that's going to be really interesting because now this goes 2 ways, right? The moment it sort of tends to shift towards the eastern side, that's when teams like PN seem to take the charge over there and seem to capitalize. But I believe we do have a fight amidst us.
Maybe a fight will be panning out. Considering the fact that the entire Carnage team is kind of separated away from Snipe Whitey, and seems like they are going to be ignoring him for a while. I mean, I don't really know why he's so, separated away from them, because certainly if he goes down, then you do not really want an early casualty on your name, at least on a map like Sandhog, because you do need each and every single teammate alive in those late game circles. And Snipe YT, somewhere down like kind of being careless about the facts. It seems like finally he will be taking the weak goal, but this is where he might go down as well. Shots have been taken. And Snap YT going to be rooting outside the vehicle, and seems like he will find himself a decent amount of cover, at least for now, but his position has been compromised.
Yes.
The backup must be on their toes anytime soon. They must be arriving.
And he needs that loot right now. He needs those vests, he needs those helmets. Having that level 1, he certainly want to get geared up, and Venom Legends are not giving him the room to do that. Now Snipe, he is all by his lonesome. He is basically a goner, but if he can pull out a clutch, that would be devastating, as he already has managed to take one down. Can he get the second? No, just a bit overextension, and being absolutely punished for that, as just Nightwing is gonna follow up and secure that first blood for himself. But we have seen Snipe in these kind of situations. He's done that in the past. I would have really been surprised if he would have kind of clutched this one out, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, it's against a team like Venom Legends, and odds are certainly not looking in your favor if it's a 1-on-3 situation. And as I did mention, it was quite a questionable move from the players of Carnage to let Snipe YT away from them, and certainly they will have to pay the price for it.
Indeed, they will have to. But Blood Legion, dropping off again, a new drop location, and the last time we did see them going towards Kampong. But this time, considering that INES is back in action, they certainly have to give them that respect and the space to loot. So they've rather, sort of turned out on a hindsight and have retreated, and it is all about that early loot, right? But their shift is going to be extremely difficult, as here we have Skylight Gaming going against the players of P and Crew in a very, very precarious situation. Now, Leon sort of giving away his position. This might be a bit detrimental towards the objectives of Skylight Gaming.
The position has been compromised. They do know that there are some players inside the compound, but take a look at Ayush's position. Are they going to be expecting him to be on the hilltop? And no, it's going to be the answer. Ayush already finding himself the opening, Heaven going down in the process. Again, he does have the Tommy gun for himself. And we do know how devastating it is in those close ranges. And with those 50 bullets being inside the magazine clip. Again, seems like he will be lobbing in the nade to force anyone down. But the rest will probably be stuck onto Heaven there. And again, now they are not looking quite good in the initial position they have. Scarlet Gaming, of course, are kind of exposed. But they do have a little bit of ridge under their name. But P and Crew, the way these guys are challenging the fight, they are absolutely wrapping up from the back lines. And finally, they have found themselves another opening, as they will be continuing the killing spree by getting Joker down just barely. He's surviving right now, but Ayush is going to be pushing inside. Domination from these lads is relentless.
It indeed is, as Leon falls down to its legend as Ayush goes charging and gets that one knock. Can he get the second though? That's going to be a big question. No, it's Joker getting the trade, but it's Sandesh from up far managing to secure that final kill, and down goes Skylight Gaming. Now, this is a big surprise. We're not really accustomed to see them go down so early. This is one of the teams that tends to survive. But look at 7C. Now they've inched in closer towards the players of Carnage, and any single moment they are going to bring the fight right on their faces.
Fear spotting Prabeen down. But again, Prabeen, he is going to be a shark inside the situation, hiding inside the water, at least for now. But his tail is still exposed, as the nades will be lobbed in. Again, the door has been taken down by the nade, but quite a bit of fuss caused by the players of 7C. But Manish trying to stay inside the house and doesn't really want to get contested that easily. So it seems like he will be backing up behind that little compound or the ridge that he has. But again, a lot of nades are lobbed in and not really able to find its mark.
Fear trying to make the move, but we do see some Miami action erupting right in front of us. C-Line, well, this time preferring that water route for themselves, and will have caught the players of T2K. A very, very uncomfortable situation, and they are just going to be drowning down to their death. And 7C, it's a totally different story altogether over here, as Carnage seem to have retreated from the action. Prabeen way too far.
But it seems like the third party from Venom Legends will be there anytime soon if these guys are going to be continuing the fuss and giving them a lot of sound cues in the process. But again, a lot of rotations are being made inside the circle. T2K were the one to make the rotation from the waterways, but C-Line easily taking them down without any trouble, because of course when you're inside the water you're not really able to do anything. All you can do is just expose your head and get shot at. But again, another fight panning out between the players of DRS, and seems like they are in a world of trouble, as Zeus is of course going to be the one to take them down again. We have seen this in the previous game as well, and now again it seems like DRS will not really be having the time, because they are all the time going down for the players of Zeus, and this feels like deja vu.
I mean, they just secured the chicken, and now again being caught in a situation like that, not the position they want to be, as Mafia Ninja has been spotted out from afar. How is he gonna escape from the situation now? Zeus have successfully managed to get that revive on the players, and well, Mafia Ninja, beautiful shot onto its IC. Can he get that knock onto its Leo though? If he manages to do that, then things might just change and tables might turn, as True Love indeed on the other side has taken down Void. But we are gonna focus our attention at this particular fight, where we might expect Zol with those beautiful, beautiful barrage of nades that he is already opting for any single moment. He is gonna strike.
Well, again, at 4 now is, of course, Mafia Ninja being the last man surviving for DRS. Doesn't really have a lot of choices, and all he has is that little stone or little rock for himself as the cover. But for how long? As Yal is making the push onto him, getting real up close and personal. Doesn't want to see Mafia Ninja alive inside the server, and he is going to be peppering down a lot of bullets as he's moving as close as possible, trying to close down the distance. But again, take a look at the bob and weave. Take a look at the movement from this man. It's on another level. He is trying to pre-fire the angle, but again, Mafia Ninja almost can be taken down, but Zol is barely surviving as well. But it's going to be Icy from the backline doing the job, and that's going to be enough.
Look at the cojones on the lads of Zeus, but we have the boys of 7C pushing in along to it. Venom Legends, as Nightwing is somehow struggling getting those knocks, but it's the players of Venom Legends absolutely everywhere. But no, 7C, they are instilling the hurt over here as they have successfully managed to take down the players of Venom Legends right from the very start. So we are witnessing some early bloodshed over here, but look at Blood Legion. Now they know where the noises are coming from, and any single moment they might go in and strike. But at the same time, they need to make a call. You need to rotate in really quick, because if you do not do that, maybe the players of High Voltage might pay a lot of attention towards you and take you down while you're traversing around.
I mean, again, yeah, taking them down is going to be a massive factor, but again, if you take them down, the route is pretty much clear. You can cross the bridge without any trouble. But now the fight is panning out between Blood Legion and the players of 7C. The engagement has been found, the players have been spotted as well, but not really finding that opening that they need. And again, this is how Zeus actually absolutely tear down the entire squad of DRS one by one. And I can't be honest with the relentless performance or relentless aggression these guys are showing inside the game. It doesn't matter how good of a team you are, Zeus will just be pushing in straight forward.
They will, but yeah, this is what I was talking about. Apply that bit of pressure, make your presence felt, get inside the circle, get in there really quick. Now with 7C trying to contest it, now it's going to be really tricky as to which is that one team that's going to make it there safely. And PN Crew really sticking at that one spot. Now the last time we did see that happening, the circle did shift down south towards the eastern side, where PN Crew did have a good chance, but it was still the boys of Zeus getting the chicken dinner. I mean, it all came down to that fight against, I believe, the players of Scarlet Gaming, and it did go into a 2v1 situation where, of course, Zeus having that advantage did win out. But the second airdrop, the right gun, the perfect machine you need for yourself at this point. But who is going to go for that? As Memo spotting out the players of Blood Legion, taking a few shots, then backing off.
But again, Dominic has a real good position onto them. Barely got compromised. But talking about Zeus again, Fixers. Now in the first map of Erangel today, Leo's healing done was 0. It was absolutely not. How good you have to be to not use a single first aid or medkit inside the game.
Gods don't bleed. Maybe that was the case with Leo. He went God mode.
Well, then other teams will definitely have to find the kryptonite for that.
Yeah.
But now again, Dominic does have that, real good position secured. All he needs to do is find an opening for his teammates to maybe make the rotation in as well. It seems like that's not going to be needed. Blood Legion are just going to be taking those risky routes and ramming the vehicle straight inside the bridges, as this was how 7C managed to take down the players of Venom Legends. But again, take a look at Gyro, what this man is doing. He's using the scooter all the way across the bridge to cross it, and without any trouble, he will be making it as well. Wow, these guys are absolute psychopaths.
I mean, this is ludicrous. That's what we're witnessing from the boys from Blood Legion. And well, you've got to take them, right? You know that you've got no option. If you, however, make it towards the Camp Alpha side, then that is where you have the upper edge. But look at the circle shift. So this time it's not towards the eastern side, where all the teams did predict it might go there. But this time the circle has played with their hearts, as it has taken that western shift, where teams, of course, like Blood Legion might have an advantage. But here we are, still the players have been knocked out. So now they need to recover, they need to get to a good spot and hold it. And what we possibly can see is another chicken dinner coming out from the Bangladeshi lads.
I also want to point one thing out. Now, on the top side of the map, there's C9, and anyone is following right their footsteps inside the water as well. Now, the fight might be panning out anytime soon. If C9 Muki decides to stop in, and, Deadeyes will, of course, be on those shorelines to welcome him inside, and even A1 will be there in the backlands as well. But take a look at Zeus as well. They are wrapping in from the bridge lines, and I really feel like we might be seeing a lot of skirmish happening onto the north side of the map. But for now, Stall of Flex spotting down the players of Blood Legion. Their position has been compromised, and they don't really have a lot of cover for themselves. And yes, that is not going to be working in their favor, as Blade again wants to confirm that kill onto Leo, but not going to be that easy. Certainly ignoring Gyro in the process as well, but it doesn't matter, the knockdown will be there from Crypta.
Yeah, indeed. And Blood Legion now in a massive world of trouble. I think they've sort of been surrounded. Dominic being that one player surviving for their team, as Blood Legion sort of delaying things over there and now have to deal with the aftermath of it, as Star Flex are chiming into the party, as we've got the lads from 7C. Now they are being the sneaky ones over here. They still know that they can take that water route. They can go get inside the circle, be safe, not rather opting for the bridge, because they know what is going to follow up next. Someone is definitely prying out onto them and maybe hunt them down.
Well, that will be happening. But again, I want to focus on High Voltage's position as well, and the way these guys have rotated inside the center of the circle. Now, of course, they have made all the way down, and I really want to point this thing out as well. Now, of course, when you are on the high ground and when you're coming down to the low ground, your bodies are, of course, exposed. So making that move as early as possible is going to be the most brilliant choice your team can make. And High Voltage, I got to give props to them. They have read the situation out perfectly and made their mark inside those little compounds. But again, Style Flex seems like they will be moving inside the water, but quite risky rotation coming in from these lads. But they don't even have any options, because Blood Legions are guarding the way of Bridge, as we're talking about another fight panning out between the players of Zeus. And again, the knockdown has been found on the IC, but doesn't matter, it's just going to be the first casualty they have. The res will be there by Leos, but will he be out surviving the zone damage?
I'm really worried about Team Zeus right now, considering how they have rotated so late inside the circle. Now, this is not really usually Team Zeus is doing. So, well, heading on to its quarry, dropping down over there. But hold on to my thoughts, as INES is in a bit of a pickle, as they've got a fight online. And it's Godless dishing down death from above, damaging them and getting those brutal knocks left, right and center. Just when we thought maybe INES is providing that pressure, no, that was not the case. The Hunters have certainly become the hunted, as Godless gets into a domination spree.
Godless, the god of thunder, raining down bullets. And again, INES found themselves absolutely terminated, as Godless was again continuing the fear onto them. But now, talking about fear, seems like he will be in a heap of trouble as he's knocked down. Of course, the res will be almost impossible to get, as 1952 will get their kill confirmed, as Rig is, of course, going to be in those clotheslines. But again, 7C, now take a look at Nemo. He has cooked the nade. That might be detrimental, but no, but his position has been compromised. Nemo will be taken down instantly. And Miner doing a fantastic job overall, capitalizing onto his position and providing that essential backfire for his teammates. But Hungrybox again taking a risky move onto 9boy out in the open. The confidence onto this man is going to be relentless, but doesn't matter. That's going to be A1 thrown outside the server.
I mean, that's Hungrybox in a nutshell. He is unfazed. He does not get scared at all. As per Bean, well, Cooney, what are you doing? I mean, Bean, he's not opening up his guns. He is not holstering up his weapons. He's just letting the players of High Voltage get in. Now, this might just be the sneakiest play ever done in the history of PUBG Mobile. Now, Praveen comes out! Get out! Oh my goodness! This is Ludicrous! What Praveen just did, and High Voltage caught with their pants down. Havoc. Now he realizes what a massive blunder that they have committed. Gone in for the nade,
Oh.
and well, now Praveen is gonna go down. But I mean, he's gonna go down with a smile.
Well, I mean, last time we saw Jiggle doing the exact same trigger discipline, and now it's going to be again from the same team. It's going to be Rapine following his footsteps, doing the same thing as well. But finally, Carnage has been taken down and terminated off the server, as High Voltage are going to be the one. But they have got a casualty on their name inside the fight. But again, another fight panning out. Leo's absolutely laser beaming down Killer YT and Ayush as well. Incredible sprays. What a precise gameplay shown by this man.
The way he shifted his bullets over there, the way he fired them up, and that was beautiful. That was mesmerizing to just watch it. But look at Legend. He looks unscared over there, but he needs to be careful because the circle has started closing in. Now this is the fourth circle. He can certainly stay away from it for quite some time, but needs to make those fast movements, as Leo will definitely secure those kills for himself. Sandesh is way too far. Now it's going to be really open. It's going to be really difficult for the players of PN Crew to actually get in. Now they have caught players of Zeus with the pants down. Can they get the knocks?
This is quite brilliant. His position hasn't been compromised. He's still outside the zone. And the entire squad of Zeus is right in front of him, and this is his moment to strike, and he strikes at right time as Godless taking down Zol. Of course, trying to cover him back up, but doesn't matter. He will be taken down as well. The nade is right next to him. Will that be doing damage to him? And of course, it will be. Incredible utility usage, showing the glimpse of it again inside this game. And Zeus, wow.
Well, this is the moment where Sandesh, I really expected, might just chime in into the fight, but it's still going with a loss. Zol is definitely going to go down, and the kill will definitely come into their accounts. But looking at Sandesh, he still is trying to dish some beautiful damage as two players of Zeus have been taken down. Now this is going to be really, really tricky for them to be trading over there, as Dominic has spotted out Blood Legion. The players getting a few knocks here and there, getting those kills confirmed, as Blood Legion have taken a commanding spot, but it's the player of Dead Eyes rather having the central spot. Now they've got the compounds. They do not really have much to worry about, as Wadusir from the far off prey is getting some beautiful frags left, right and center.
Well, again, Havoc kind of separated out from his teammate, but again, his teammate is knocked out, and of course Icy going to be spotting him down, tearing him apart, and that's going to be High Voltage exiting the server as well. And Zeus, of course, Icy putting the last bullet right in his skull. But again, it's stare down competition between these teams. Deadeyes, of course, have the massive chance to take this entire game in their hands, but Blood Legion, again, in the black backlines, might be doing a lot of work.
They indeed will have to, because now Blood Legion, they've got a long distance to travel inside the circle, and that has to be out in the open. Now they need to play the ridges right. With Icy just being alive, maybe Dominic might spot him. The moment he just peeks out, if he takes a glance over there, that is an easy frag for him. But look at Shikusa right out in the open, gets punished for that. Dominic getting a beautiful knock, but Icy just being in the covers of that stone over that rock over there. But for how long is the question, as Dominic has started cooking up that grenade, and in the wrong direction it goes, not really connecting over there.
I'm still trying to figure out, well, where did he actually lob that nade? Because, well, quite a questionable nade or utility usage. Of course, you want to be securing as much as possible, but again, that nade might be doing it, as he did lob the nade in the right direction. Leo going down by the players of Deadeyes, and that might be doing it as entry from 1952 finally going down by the zone, and that's going to be them getting outside of the game.
Now Blood Legion, they are in a very, very precarious position, completely caught off guard with all their players down. They were a full squad just a few seconds ago. Now it's all down to its Ryan to actually continue inside the circle. Now with Deadeyes at such a commanding position, they actually might get this one home.
Well, exactly. Deadeye is causing quite a bit of rumpus in those late game situations. And Circle, as Ryan, of course, that we did mention, he's taken a lot of zone damage, and finally seems like he is going to be doing that heal battle all by himself. Now there are 4 teams live, PN Crew, Zeus, and Deadeyes being one of them. Blood Legion, of course, Ryan is going to be doing that heal battle. But for how long is going to be the question, because he will certainly run out of those medkits soon enough, as again, Deadeyes making the move kind of finding themselves more kind of a breathing space, and of course finding themselves that free open repositioning spots as well.
And there you go, Ryan being taken down from the play zone. The kill not secured. However, fourth position elimination is what we do witness for the boys from Blood Legion. Again, a very promising performance by the lads. But Icy is still surviving. Now he's still inside the zone, and Sandesh, he needs to make that move. He needs to do that quick. Considering Deadeye is having such a massive numbers advantage, they can seal the deal over here. But Icy's position, we do know they have a slight idea as to where he might be. But Sandesh, he might be the surprising factor in this game.
But again, now of course Deadeyes do want to shatter all these last members surviving, but they don't know if that's just from I mean, they of course do know that these are, you know, two separate teams, and it's a 1-on-1-on-4 situation. Now again, the circle shift is favoring the completely last of Deadeyes, and I really feel like this might just be their game, because Icy needs to make the move in as well, and even PM Crew is going to be in those backline, and as soon as Icy exposes his body, of course Sandesh will be taking shots onto him, so that might be Icy gone as well. So I mean, this situation is quite favoring the lads from Deadeyes, as they do have the man advantage inside the situation, and yeah, they even have the circle favoring them.
They they certainly do. As Sandesh, he will be opting for that healing battle. As we can see, does have those 5 first aids, but has he managed to spot out Icy? That's going to be really crucial, but no, before that gets hunted down, as the players of Deadeyes are just charging onto its Icy, who was relentless in the first and did manage to get a few knocks over here, but it is the boys again from Nepal, securing another beautiful chicken dinners this time, however, it's Deadeyes, and now they have got that eye for the kill. They have actually gone for that, managed to get this one home, and a much needed breather.
Exactly, previously DRS and now Deadeyes, the Nepali domination is on point.
Yeah, indeed it is. I mean, with the way things are panning out, we are yet to see the Pakistani teams to flourish. We've seen the Mongolians dominate. We've seen the Bangladeshi coming online. But Pakistani teams are surely missing out. But maybe the last final game might just be the one where they manage to get a chicken dinner. But before that, we will be heading out for a shuttle break. You don't go anywhere.
Keeping it real. I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Hello and welcome back once again to PUBG Mobile Pro League South Asia Season 3. We just got done with game number 4 and it has been a fabulous day. It has been a perfect start to week 2 of the Super Weekend, and we're only on day number 1. Only on day number 1 with still one more game remaining. I'm your host Blodo. Let's move on to our analysts and find out what do they gotta say with the second chicken dinner coming in for Deadeyes.
Well,
That was an interesting one.
exactly, that was really a good one if you just want to talk about this one. But as you just look at this, 7 kills, 694 damage, 2 assists as well by Hungry Boxer, and we talked about it, right?
Yep.
Back to back he has been the top in the top players. Previous game he had 5 kills, he was in the top players. This time he has 7 kills. So yeah, and 36 healing, only 36 healing.
Well, an impressive performance. No wonder the lad was celebrating after the game
Exactly.
ended. And hey, along with that, another $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 coming up for DE if you just want to talk about this one. But hey, look at his skill contribution. That's the highest percentage marker that I have seen, I would say.
Yeah, and an amazing performance. Has been a veteran of the scene, and well, from the journey, if you remember the last time we saw him, I mean, 7th season now playing with the players of DE. Amazing performance from the lad. But Deadeyes, guys, we just had a chat with them. And now they are starting to perform. So we do see the bounce up from this team, but still there's a speculation, like as the player just said, we are saving the strats for the finals.
And that's going to be important. That's going to be really crucial for them to move on along into those top 9 to be part of that regional final. But with that, let's have a look at the top players coming in from this game. And it is, of course, Woof. 7 kills coming in from this lad of Dead Eyes, guys. Hungry Box.
Seven from Hungry Box and 6 from Wadusa right there. So an impressive performance from the players of DE. And well, if this is them saving strats, I can only imagine what happens when they actually start playing.
Yeah, that's true. Zeus as well. You can see Icy and Godless getting up for their own kill points for themselves. But yeah, Warusur and Hungry Box, these two players have been impressive and incredible in this one game as well.
I think this was just a glimpse of what the team can actually perform.
Absolutely, mate. Because again, you bring that conversation towards the interview that we just had, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about during week 1, we were just looking at what to expect from the entirety of the lobby. You move on towards week 2. I mean, that's exactly what the lad was discussing. And I was, of course, Shifu Sir saying that now we're ready, now we're prepped. And that's exactly what they showcased. With that, another chicken dinner coming into their banks is going to be $2,000 now. But move on to the match ranking. It is going to be a close affair now.
Again, a high kill game coming out, right? We were
Yes,
talking about the
yes.
high kill games. If there's a chicken dinner, there are always high kills right now. But Zeus Esports, look at them. 10 kills for them as well. And hey, again, Zeus versus DRS, that started to happen as we just saw. PN Crew was out here, XP Blood Legion, 1952. So 1952 is showcasing the signs of life from themselves. But right now, INES, the way they started their day, it's not been the same boat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the sort of slowdown of momentum has been there from the team of INES and A1 Esports as well.
Again, 3 teams, 0 points.
0 points.
Just as we were talking, right? Today has been the day. 3 teams always come up with 0 points for themselves.
Yeah.
Again, not really
Like,
what
not
they
even the
expect.
kill fights, yeah.
Nobody in the lobby, of course, wants to be part of that. But eventually, it is just the way those rotations work. It is just the way you caught off guard making those rotations in those open circles, and that's what makes it that much more difficult for these teams to rack away with those points.
Exactly, but this was a fun circle.
Yeah, exactly. This was a fun circle. Obviously, the Paradise Bootcamp areas were there, but then the circle was bound to move to the Camp Alpha side. And as slowly and slowly it started moving on to those areas, every team wanted to acquire the central area, but then the circle chose another shift, and it goes to the southern side of Camp Alpha. And so that in that the bridge rotations from the Camp Alpha to Ruins area, that becomes crucial. And obviously, you could see the areas where Prabeen is. And hey, Prabeen, if you're talking about this one, that guy, he knows how to hide his strats and use it at the needed time. You all saw that.
We were talking about this. It felt like he had the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, and well, he was just completely invisible, and a pleasant surprise, not an unpleasant surprise to the opponents that were there.
Exactly. I mean, high voltage. How could you not?
No one saw that.
No one saw that.
Literally no one saw that.
Literally nobody saw him, and what a play that was coming in from the slot of Carnage Esports. But eventually, again, I mean, high voltage, they are going to be.
I would love to see that in the Oppo moments if we have it, right?
It will be there. It certainly will be there. Let's move on to the Oppo moments and have a look at, well, not only that moment, but so many others as we just start off with Carnage bringing in Annihilation.
Yeah, the annihilation, the domination that Carnage just started off, right? And this is where Venom Legends always does good. You know the initial fights that they take, they always try to take them in their favor, and if they survive, they love to go long in the entirety of the match for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. An amazing performance from the team, especially as you pointed out, early aggression is where they are good at. But as we move forward to the middle stages of the game, it is Zeus again. Just those kills coming in for the team. Finally, with this match, they have crossed the marker of 100 kills, and I think even will be sitting on the first position as far as the leaderboard is concerned. But then again, I mean, Venom Legends being caught out of position, and was quite fair to them as well, because the part of the area from where they were trying to enter the circle, there were like 3 teams present.
Exactly. I mean, those things kind of just, get to matter for themselves, obviously, with the players as for how they are looking forward onto their own fights. But DE Hungry Box, I mean, getting a lot of kills for himself. The way he was so much focused, but this was the moment. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Spots him down, takes him out, and then everyone gets to know, hey, we were in that house.
And he closed the door as well, right behind which Praveen was hiding, and then High Voltage was like, hey, how dare you? How dare you do that?
Well, the damage was done already, right? Yeah. The time had passed. So
the point was taken. No two ways about it. Yeah. There's going to be High Voltage bringing in a lot of communication when it comes down to them bring in that conversation towards themselves. But again, I mean, convert that towards the final moments. It was just a perfect play coming in from this team that we were talking about again and again every single day. And here they are, proving their marker, bringing in not only 1 but 2 chicken dinners back to back.
Yeah, quite an amazing performance
coming in from this team that we were talking about again. Going to be High Voltage.
How dare you do that?
Well, the damage was done already, right? Yeah. The time had passed. So
the point was taken. No two ways about it. There's going to be High Voltage bringing in a lot of communication when it comes down to them bring in that conversation towards themselves. But again, I mean, convert that towards the final moments. It was just a perfect play coming in from this team that we were talking about again and again every single day. And here they are, proving their marker, bringing in not
consistent throughout the day in the final game, if we just talk about that one.
absolutely, but before we head in towards those final game moments, we have to have a look at the journey that these teams have been a part of, and with that, it is UC Sports taking a lead over CD Sports with 219 points.
Hey, you just asked the players of Dead Eyes, guys, like we want to see them in the top 9. Here they are, sitting on the 8th position, bouncing up 4 places, 139 points for them, but the difference is still there. And as you said, yes, Zeus Esports, 219.
This is where the competition takes over if you are not, consistent. A1 Esports still does not have a chicken dinner, and whilst the other teams are getting the chicken dinners for themselves, they would like to compete onto their names in the top 5. That's where A1 Esports need to look forward to. If they get a chicken dinner, they might just compete against high voltage DRS, and then they would like to move to the top 5. So that team needs a chicken dinner right now. We're talking about the team still in 19th position right now. I mean, Seal 9, they have 30 points. One more game remaining. We'll have to see how close that they can get to F4 in the competition, because what F4 did in 15 games, they want to do it in less number of games as possible for all these teams, because obviously every team right now, their goal is to get into top 16, then we'll move up forward.
Completely agree with that, because the faster you do that, the faster you take over the position from F4, the more focus you can put on climbing within the top 16 and making sure that your spot in the finals is secured. Because once again, only 16 teams will be moving to the South Asia finals.
Exactly, mate. And from that, only 9 going to be part of that regional final. So
Yes.
the journey does not stop. After every single game, there is going to be a lot of grind. But along with that, you guys have been grinding, you guys have been watching, and we have a massive turnover event set up for you guys sitting back at home, which of course will start off with the mega schedule that's been set up throughout PMPL South Asia, where every single time you chime in, you get to stand a chance to win so many of these wonderful goodies, along with which, I mean, you've got the virtual gifts, combine that with the Apple AirPods Pro and so many others, which of course does include the gift card in your local currency as well.
Yeah.
This is what we are talking about, viewers.
Talk about everything, right? This, just as we said, this is the giveaway calendar that you have, and as you can see, a lot of stuff out for brags.
Absolutely is, and in that conversation, as you start racking up those points in game, you have to be timing in through the PMPL South Asia aggression through Esports Center. As you do so, you will be earning points just to watch. Just to watch, you will be earning points. As you get those points, those can then be multiplied by guessing weekly winners. And again, you can multiply those as well by participating in the lucky draw. And you will be able to get, of course, those perfect in-game items along with the perfect PMPL outfit that, again, Johnny has been wanting to get in the longest time, mate.
I really want it. I mean, I would love to wear it to the stage someday, like just show it off, have the PMPL logo right on my chest. But I have to say one thing, Ocean, you better watch out. I think your crystal ball might be under threat if the players want to predict those winners.
And they certainly have been doing so. They have been doing so. But along with that, I mean, virtual gifts taken care of. Now let's talk about actual gifts that are also for you. These are the incredible first, second, third prizes that are set up for you, which of course includes the AirPod Pros, along with which you've got in-game items and you've got the perfect gift cards in your local currency. And to participate, all you need to do is hashtag PMPLSA with your unique UID code from in-game, followed by the region that you are supporting. Now this is going to be crucial. This is going to be very, very important, because you better start loving and supporting your love from the teams that are from your region, because that is where it'll all fall back onto, and the teams that will be in the top 6 to the top 9 will have that much more chance of course getting those gifts towards you guys. With that, game number 4 done, it is time to move on along with the schedule. Let's have a glance at the schedule and find out what map are we going towards to close off our wonderful super weekend.
Well, what goes around comes around, and that's where Erangel always stays. We are going to be moving on to Erangel. Now I would love to see, right, how do the teams play the last Erangel for the first day of Super Weekend 2, because there are some teams that would just, love to go all YOLO just for the sake of it, just maybe.
See, so PN been doing really well for themselves, but I want them to get this last chicken dinner. I mean, I hope they get the last chicken dinner, because consistency is there from the side. The consistent climb has been there, but there's still a difference. I mean, we do not see changes happen between where they are and the teams are sort of stagnant for now. But with that one chicken dinner performance, I think they can definitely climb up a few positions.
Absolutely can. Along with that, I do want to point out that one more team that I have got my eyes glazed out towards. That's going to be rather two teams actually. We've got High Voltage, who are looking really comfortable as of now, no question about it. A1 Esports as well, looking really comfortable on the overall ranking. They are in the top 8 to the top 9. But if they get that chicken dinner, they could be that much more crucial when it comes to the entirety of the lobby.
Exactly. Because A1 Esports is at 6th position right now, they are just out of top 5, but they are really close to High Voltage's points. So if they get a chicken dinner, they might just be out there. But again, there's one team that we know. If you talk about the map chances, as we have seen, right? There's one team that always love to stay on top, and that is Zeus in the maps of Erangel. So
Always does so. With that, you guys sitting back at home, hashtag PMPL SA with what team are you going to be supporting and rooting for? It is time to get busy with the final game of our second week Super Weekend. It is time to move on to our commentators, who once again are going to be the Wrangle boys. It is XP joined in with Blay.
Thank you for that, Blotter. He makes us look and sound
Wrangle
so
boys,
good every single
XP
time.
and Blade. We gotta do this.
Three six five. कहाँले मलाई फोन गर्छ झगडा त्यो गेस्टलाई के त्यो बेस्ट फ्रेन्ड 3 मा आउँछ नि त सानो कपडा लिएर अब पहिला पहिला होटलमा फोन गर्थ्यो अनि होटलबाट फोन गर्दाखेरि जहिले हामी ढिलो के अनि पछि एकचोटि अनि मैले भेटेपछि अनि गिभ मी योर नम्बर हो नि ओके सर अब डिआरएस कहाँ झर्छ है हेरेर नि के रे जुस जुस में कता झर्छ जुस टिटीके मेल्टा फार्मतिर होला ओए जुस त मैले प्रिजन गयो पियानलाई चाहिँ राम्रो पर्ने त्यहाँ जहिले त्यहीँ झर्दो रहेछ सेभर्नेमा के पियान क्या एउटा चाहिँ कहाँ मेन्सनमा झरेको दिएर छ सक्यो त्यो म्याच ओहो होला तिनीहरू हस्पिटल लिएर जान्छ 952 the फेरिबाट चाहिँ ब्रिजमा पो आयो त्यहाँ ब्रिजका एउटालाई छोडिदियो मार्यो दुईतिरबाट च्याप्ने भयो यहीँ रे यो माथि चढ्यो अरे ल ल त्यस्तै मजा हानेर के गरा त्यसले यस्तो खेल्दो रहेछ अनि भाग्न लाग्यो त्यो कहाँ भ्याउँछ यार ब्रिज क्यामरे के रे अब उता पोजिसन छोडेर यतापट्टि आउँछ अफकोर्स उनीहरू के अरे स्मोक गरेर अनि आइहाल्छ नि होइन के जस्तो म यहाँनिर चाहिँ यतापट्टि मेरो पछाडि अब तिनवटा ऊ छ नि त तिन ठाउँ होइन यहाँनिर छोडेर चाहिँ म किन यता जानु के अनि म यता आएपछि अफकोर्स उताबाट यहाँनिर आएर बस्छ यहाँनिर कभरमा उनीहरू बस्छ म फेरि त्यो प्लेस छोडेर अर्कोमा गएपछि अर्को फेरि आएर उतापट्टि कभरमा बस्छ भाग्न लाग्यो एउटा चाहिँ बाँचेमा सेलेक्ट एउटा नक रहेछ नि त्यसले कुदाएको एक्लैले कुदायो त्यसलाई हेर खतरा कुदायो यार नक पनि हानेको यसले त यार आयो फर्केर उता गएर नक हानेर आयो यार त्यहाँ लास्ट कुदायो त्यसलाई यो पनि गयो स्पोकी अम्बो कस्तो एकै ठाउँमा बस्यो क्या अब झन्न मारे सिएन सिएन गयो सिएन ल ज्युसले त सक्यो क्या हो सिएन कर्नेसको त्यो दुईजना भाइ ज्युसलाई हाले 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 सक्यो ज्युस सकेन एउटालाई चाहिँ DRS ला DRS र A1 अरे पास One HP chat. Cheer no way. Last guy. Net हाने हुन्छ उता बलमा मासेर अब लुट्न खोज्ने होला एसी कस्तो गन स्विच गर्दामा ढिलो भयो यस 0 डी पऱ्यो के त ए कार्ने चाहिँ आइछ के यतापट्टि त बिचमा पऱ्यो त मा डिआरएस कस्तो दामी जोनमा छ ओए डी असले डिआरएस पछाडि छ नेपालले खाने भए चिकन चाहिँ खाना चाहिँ हाने नि फेरि हानेन आफ्नो दुईटा टिममेट नकडाउन थियो नि त तर एटलिस्ट फिनिस त हान्नु पर्दैन क्या त्यसले खोजी उता एचबी छ उता 7C छ टिआरएसले होल मात्र गरेर गेट किपिङ गर्न सक्छ होला ए टिआरएस जम्मा दुईजना त बाँकी रहेछ नि टिआरएसले कस्तो झ्यालबाट देख्छ त पिएनले बल्ल हानेमा पिएनले सक्यो बल्ल 7C नि भाइ कस्तो नानी अब खुनी त्यहाँ त डिआरएस र डी डिआरएस र डीमा अब डीको 2 अन्त आएर आना ला सकाइ सक 5 पुग्यो त्यो घरमा नि अहिले हेरेर जुसलाई अघि नै पर्यो जस्तो क्या त्यो यो कम्पाउन्डमा कसैले पुसाएन नि 4-5 तिरबाट हुटुटु त्यो घरलाई के अरे होइन कि त्यही दिन त्यो घरमा कि सबैले त्यो घर चाहिँ लिनुपर्छ भनेर आएको भए क्या सकिँदैन कसले खान्थ्यो खाद्य त्यही त नि त्यहीँ मात्र पर्थ्यो मासुले बबाल हुन्थ्यो त्यो घरलाई चाहिँ कब्जा गर्नुपर्छ भनेर सब आएको भए चाहिँ बवाल हुन्थ्यो हाम्रो पब्जी खेल्ने बेला होला आज पब्जी खेल्ने हो हेलो गाउँ काटेर भ्याउनु भयो नमस्ते दर्शन सौभाग्यवती भइस् आशीर्वाद त खतरा दिन्छ नि हजुर यो मेरो ज्यानलाई सकुशलै छ आजसम्म हजुरको ज्यानलाई कस्तो छ अनि ओइल मसाज गर न ओइल मसाज शुद्ध शुद्ध तोरीको तेल अनि के अरे अनि गोर्खाली भाइरसको के छ खबर बाँचेकै छ होइन हाँसेकै छ होइन होइन बाँचेकै छ हाँसेकै छ होइन चाहिएकै त्यही त हो नि हौ 2 दिनको जिन्दगानी अहिले त म त पुरा छुट्टीमा छु 3 दिनको त्यो एउटा लाइभ चलिरह लाइभ गेम खेलिरह त गेम्स अब गोर्खालीको आवाज चाहिँ कस्तो सुमधुर हो बाह्र बाह्र 25 आशीका लाइनमा 5,000 कुरेर बसिरहेको किन झगडा पऱ्यो क्या हजुरहरू कसलाई आशीको नम्बर त छैन आम्बो 13,000 दलमाराको हो कि दलमारा कि दरमारा बाह्र हजार पुरा डी डी है मलाई त नसोध्नु है मलाई नसोध्नु मलाई केही पनि थाहा छैन आशिकाको बेस्ट फ्रेन्डहरूसँग मात्रै खेल्छ अरे हामीसँग खेल्दैन अरे
टिटिकेको कसलाई हटाएर तिनीले अर्कोलाई हारेर रहेछ त है अहिले त्यो अहिले टप किलरमा आएको थियो सेकेन्डमा
टिटिकीको
अँ
खै
नामै नसुने प्लेयर हो मैले त मलाई थाहै थिएन त्यो टिममा छ भनेर
कसले हो बन्दुक हानेको मलाई कानै झिनिन्न हुन्छ क्या त्यही भएर यतातिर क्या मैले कहिले हो मैले कहिले हेरेँ होला हो मैले कहिले भने होला हो हामी झार्की जाने अन्त झार्के हो र मुलाहरूले खालि हेर्छ है हजुर हो नि त नि कसले हो कसले हो त्यो म चाहिँ गोर्खालीको सपोर्टमा हेरेँ किनकि मलाई पनि त्यस्तै लाग्छ क्या
ल
होइन क्या सुरुमा मात्रै हो क्या
डिआरएस सेकेन्डमा पुग्यो
अनि
कार्नेगी
लास्टमा
स्पोर्ट
अनि चिन्दै
थर्डमा
गएपछि
पुग्यो
बोल्दै गएपछि अनि सबले
C9
हेप्छन् क्या
स्पोर्ट फोर्थमा पुग्यो डेड आइज गाइस 7मा पुग्यो T2K 8मा पुग्यो
मैले कहिले हेप्यो
ओपी यार ओपी
कहिले
डिआरएसले 5वटा चिकन डिनर हान्दैछ यार 213
अनि मैले चाहिँ हो क्या त्यस्तो
ओपी भने
हजुरले भन्दा हजुरले भन्दा अरे ए चल चल्छ नेपाल अन्त मुस्ताङ घुमेर मान्छेहरू कहाँ कहाँ गएर आइसक्यो तपाईँ चाहिँ अँ ओ सानो बनाउने हो सानो बनाउने क्या सानो बनाउने क्या
कसलाई
यहाँ आशिका
ए
रिसाइसक्यो
आशिका गीत सुनेर बस्छ हाम्रो गेममा चाहिँ
टिकटक हेरेर
टिकटक हेरेर दिमाग खराब अझै ठुलो बनाइदिनु त
Super weekend. It's going to be a tricky one. And that's going to be the final one. Yes. The final blow to the nail, final blow to the coffin. That's not something that anybody wants to be a part of. But again, taking that conversation forward, you're talking about the real soldiers. And talking about those real soldiers, you know for a fact that they have been phenomenal. But compare their stats from Super Weekend. They won towards the Super Weekend. They won. That's just a perfect play. This is just perfect play from them compared to week 1 this week.
झोला यहाँ थियो हो तपाईँहरू हामीसँग खेल्दैन हामी त एङ्गल ग्रिप चाहिन्छ एङ्गल ग्रिप ब्याग यहाँ थियो हो यहाँ यो घरमा भन्नु न तपाईँलाई लेभल होइन सही हो सही हो भन्नु तपाईँलाई के दिउँ भन्नु ल राउन्ड ल एकेएम चाहिन्छ एकेएम हजुर नेपाल नेपाल खै आउने हो 2021मै आउने आउँछ किन र तपाईँलाई तपाईँलाई के भन्ने ए सुरुमा त म चिन्दिनँ नि होइन सुरुमा म नेपाल आउँदा त कसैलाई चिन्दिनँ हो होइन जस सुरुमा 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 आउँदाखेरि अलिक गोरो गोरो हुन्छ नि त अनि चिन्दिनँ क्या कसैलाई नि अनि एक हप्तापछि फेरि एक हप्तापछि ओरिजिनल कलरमा आउँछ त्यहाँपछि अनि सबैलाई हजुर हजुर मलाई चिन्ने भयो भन्दै हिँड्छु क्या अनि त्यो भनेको फ्याक्ट हो क्या आउनु न चितवन पुरा लजिङ फुडिङ फ्री हो मेरो दिदीको रिसोर्ट छ क्या गतिलो किन हौ म कस्तो छु र त्यस्तो राम्रो ह्यान्डसम प्रोफाइल पिक्चर छ आम्बो ओ आयो हानु म त को भने तपाईँको गाडीले मलाई हानेर आद्धी बनाइदियो
को खेले हो ऱ्यान्डम आइदैन
होइन हौ सब पुरानो साथीहरूसँग पुरानो तर युजिएल पुरानो तर युजिएल क्या आम्बो आशिका कहाँ पुग्नु भएको रहेछ हौ म त यतैतिर होला भनेको त के भन्नु न लुट्न म त लिन कति यहाँ तपाईँले कुन हिसाबले भन्नुभयो बाजे खतम छ भनेर सुन्न मन लाग्यो क्या कुन हिसाबले क्या होइन कुन एङ्गलले क्या हुन्छ नि एउटा ए यो के हो यहाँ छ है म फालिदिन्छु ल को त हो स्कार ह्याकर बोलते ए जोन आइसक्यो कता लक्ष्मी त्यो हजुर लक्ष्मी त के अरे नम्बर 1 त कता कता हो बट मार्नु ए यहाँ स्कारले यहीँ छ कि लानु भयो सुमरमा पुरा गर्लफ्रेन्ड खोज्दै हिँडिरहेको रहेछ अस्ति मलाई भन्दै थियो दाइ ए दाइ रे बाजे एउटा भएन यसो भन्दै थिएँ मैले भने हेट गर्लफ्रेन्ड भनेको त भाइ अब भन्दैन अब मेरो चाहिँ नाति त्यो ह्यान्डसम केटा छ नि देख्नुभयो अहिले मैले भन्नै पर्दैन क्या कस्तो मच्छर पनि तपाईँलाई मात्र आउँदो रहेछ अस्तिदेखिको मच्छर टिभी म चलाउँछु नि कता हो भाइ पो आउनु पर्ने फेरि ल ल त्यहाँ मार गरिराख्नु म आएँ म हामी नि भ्याउँछ ए एकछिन त्यतै लुकेर बस्नु न कता कता एकछिन एकछिन जो अब कहाँनिर मार गर्नुभयो फेरि कता तल म तल त छु त कता पो हो यो मार्क पनि हो M24 मा पो आइपुग्यो म त कहाँनिर हो डिपी चाहिँ मार्क लोकेसन गर्नुभएको छ नि कहाँबाट हो त्यो डिपीमा गर्नु पर्थ्यो नि तल त हो नि अब ए डिपी पाएँ डिपी लिनु लिनु यहाँनिर छ मेरै अगाडि छ स्कोप 4 को छ ए हामी आइहाले तपाईँसँग तेल छ यतातिर हिँड्नु न यतातिर हिँड्नु मैले मार गरेको थिएँ भने त त्यतातिर हिँड्नु त मैले मार गरेको छु नि हेर्नु त ए हामी नजिक रहेछ नि अनि सुमनको के छ अरे खबर अनि सुमनको खबर के छ अरे हजुर गर्लफ्रेन्ड खोज्दै भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो मैले भनेको यतातिर त पाउँदैन भाइ अब गर्लफ्रेन्डको लागि त अलिकति आफू नि सुगर सफा हुनु पर्यो ग्रुमिङ स्ट्यान्डर्डमा ध्यान दिनु पर्यो ग्रुमिङ स्ट्यान्डर्डमा यतै हो यतै आउनु न बिस्तारै ग्रुमिङ फ्युल मसँग छ आए फ्युलै छैन रहेछ भाइ स्कोप नि छैन फ्युल नै छैन म यता तेल पायो भने आउँछु हजुर कतिको छ र छकै पाउनु भयो मलाई 4को दिनु है त कतिको छ हौ तपाईँलाई कुन चाहिँ मनपर्छ हो त्यसो भए डिपी चलाउनुहुन्छ त मध्यम लाउनु ल लाउनु ल यता आउनु यता हो यता यहाँ फर्स्ट फ्लोरमा आउनु ल लाउनु यहाँनिर 7को एमो लिनु न त अनि डिपीलाई डिपीलाई त टन्न चाहिन्छ नि तेल त छैन है यता हाम्रो म त यस्तोमा नि चढ्दिँदो रहेछ भाइ यस्तो तारमा नि चढ्दो रहेछ नि त यस्तोमा नि चढ्नु मिल्दो रहेछ नि त
कहाँ
तारमा हो
लिबीको र यो
होइन हो हेर एङ्गल हो हेर न तार कसरी खै दौडिन नि मिल्दो रहेछ ए झरिसक्यो एक्लै एक्लै नजानु हो अहिले अगाडिबाट हान्छ अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ अब जोन सानो हुँदै गइसक्यो 12 जना बाँकी छ अब प्रोबेबली हैन प्रोबेबली अब एनिमी हुनेहरू भनेको त्यतै हो अब प्रिजनमा परेछ ए आउन त लक्ष्मी यहाँ आउन एकजना ओ एनिमी 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 यहीँ छ यहीँ छ यहीँ छ यहीँ छ ल यहीँ आँखाकै एकजना बट हो कि एनिमी एउटा दौडेको चाहिँ देखेको भएन होइन यही त तपाईँकै पछाडिपट्टि स्मोक हान्नु त 4-5 वटा बम सम हान्नु यतातिर कस्तो मार्नु 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 हान्नु न गोर्खाली त्यही अगाडि हो त्यहाँ अगाडि ओपी गोर्खाली गोर्खाली ओपी कता कता हो अर्को नि रहेछ हो रिभाइभ नगर्नु न त आइसक्यो रिभाइभ नगर्नु न हान्नु न खतरा क्लच हान्दै हो हेल्थ किट लगाउनु न ब्यान्डेज पो लगाइरहनु भएको क्या हेल्थ किट लगाउनु न स्मोक हान्नु त्यहाँनिर बग्गी छ बग्गीमा कुद्नु पछाडि जानु न पछाडि त्यत्रो भागेर भ्याउँदैन क्या त्यहाँनिर बग्गी छ बग्गीमा जानु ऊ त्यहीँ बग्गी छ बग्गीमा कुदिहाल्नु अब हिल गर्न भ्याउँदैन क्या तपाईँले सानो भइसक्यो जोन एक स्क्वायर छ ए छ्या अँध्यारोको गेम पो आएछ भाइ आशिकालाई झन् त्यहाँ एनिमी छ भन्छु छैन कस्तो रहेछ हेलो 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 ए भनेपछि को आउने रे चितवन घुम्नलाई आशिका नि आउने चितवन घुम्न चितवन घुम्न आउने तपाईँ अन्त म घर आउँदाखेरि अघि को आउने भने त लक्ष्मी को गरे को घुम्न आउने रे चितवन को घुम्न आउने भने क्या चितवन प्रिजन जाने होइन कता जान्छ भने यस नयाँ त्यो ढिलो भइहाल्यो नि ढिलो भइहाल्यो नि अब त सेफ खेल्ने हो नि त अब त्यहाँ फेरि गन नि पाउँदैन केही नि पाउँदैन हो यहाँ जान्छ दुईजना कहाँनिर हो त्यो घरमा जान्न दुईजना अब कस्तो आशिकाकै अगाडि आउनुपर्ने क्या फेरि होइन हौ फेरि अनि मलाई बट मारे मात्रै भन्छ भनेर फेरि हजुर कता हो ल कार 98 रहेछ उता प्रिजन चाहिँ चल्दिने हो कस्तो अँध्यारो भयो गेम यहाँ हाँसीका बट 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 यहाँ छ बट हान्ने हो भन्दै होइन भने म हानिदिन्छु हान्दिउँ म पिस्तोलले हानिदिन्छु ए गाडी आयो मार्यो मलाई त कस्तो गाडीको आवाज त आएको थियो दुईजना मात्र हारेछ ढाँमा त मारिहाल्यो नजानु हो नजानु त्यतैतिर यतैतिर बस्नु उता आशिका भातिर जाने तिनीहरू आउँछ क्या त्यो मलाई लुट्न ल अब मैले बल्ल एउटा स्कारल पाएको थिएँ त्यो बटले पाएको भएर बट मारेको उतै जानु उतै त्यो आशिका कहाँ उयो के अरे वेयर हाउसमा हो त्यतितिर जान्छ तिनीहरू त्यतै आउँछ ए त्यहाँनिर बल्ल बट आएर स्कारल पाएको थियो पिस्तोलले मारेर हानिदिएको केटी हो कस्तो केटी हो के अरे गिफ्ट रे ए लेफ्ट अलमा बोल्नु न दिन्छ होला नि इन्डियन लाउरीको छोरी पनि के छ र हो त्यस्तो मोटी त छैन हो ठिक्कको छ नेपाली लाउरे हो सुखदार हो हजुरको बाबा सुखदार हो र हजुरको बाबा के अरे जमदार के हलदार हो नेपाल पुलिस क्याप्टेन इन्सपेक्टर हसाई के भन्छ नि होइन हसाई आयो 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 एनिमी हो बट होइन हौ तिनीहरू दुईजना हो क्या बग्गीमा त्यो बट भएको भए त त्यस्तरी दौडिन्छ बाङ्गो बाङ्गो हुँदै यतै यतै आउँछ नि बट भएको भए त अहिले हजुरहरू गोसाइकुण्ड जानु भयो कि भएन गोसाइकुण्ड गोसाइकुण्ड क्या गोसाइकुण्ड त्यो धार्मिक क्षेत्र क्या केटीहरूको कुरा सुन्दै बस्दै गर्नु रहेछ हो लाग्यो अलि लुकाउनु पर्छ नि अलिक घारी घारीमा लुकाउनु पर्छ हाम्रो गाउँ काट्दा नि बढ्दैको अलिक खाजा झ्याप्प खानुहुन्छ होला नि अनि चाहिँ ट्याक हरियो नुन खुर्सानीसँग आम्बो अझै त्यही माथि म्याउ साँधेर नुन खुर्सानी र अनि मेरो कस्तो नराम्रो क्वालिटी आएको यस्तो आउँछ र यस्तो अघि नैसम्म त राम्रै
त्यो
आइरहेको
तिमीले मोबाइल एकचोटि रिस्टार्ट गरेर अन गर्नुपर्छ क्या
अघि नै त
स्ट्रिम
राम्रै
सुन्दा
आएको थियो
कहिले काहीँ त्यस्तो हुन्छ त्यसलाई भन्छ फ्रेम रेट ड्रप भएको
गेमै रिस्टार्ट हान्दिने
गेम रिस्टार्ट हुँदैन तिम्रो त्यो गेम पुरै स्ट्रिमै रिस्टार्ट गर्नुपर्छ
ए होला होला स्ट्रिमै बन्द गरिदिन्छ यार यहाँ त राम्रै आइरहेको त
खोइ त्यहाँ राम्रै आयो
बन्द गरिदिनु